I can do a butchered version.
I got it, Aries. Yeah, so, things went this way today when, after the kitty showed up, is telling us about the fact that the orcs had attacked the town and raided it. I had gathered the party members remaining behind, and the group of us got together and made our way towards the village where the kitties were originally from. There, we investigated the area and discovered the route the orcs had gone, as well as a new friend. A little girl named Zaifa with a strange doll, a sorcerer by the looks of things, with a doll that's apparently her sister. And she's out looking for some powerful magic, cause by there's a lot of crazy stuff going on there. But in any case, we kept moving forward, and with the new help of our new little friend, we discovered the whereabouts of the orc encampment. There, we entered the encampment and hopefully tried to save the kitties by sending Ayla in the head to free the kids. Unfortunately, due to some bad luck, though, the kids were not only two of the kids made it, while the little kitty girl the tabaxi one was taken away when we were unable to save her. But after the battle with what appeared to be vampires and orcs, we were able to defeat the enemy and capture an orc in the tower after Ella made someone's head explode. That was pretty neat, yeah?
All right. I thought that was pretty neat. So after all of that, you guys are able to capture one of the orcs. He clambers down from the watchtower, looks at Ayla a moment, and kind of, oh, Zug Zug.
He says that to Ayla?
Yeah.
Kind of tilts her head at that.
He leans in and sniffs. You smell like the filth.
Huh? I'm sorry? Huh?
The red ones.
She sniffs the back of her hand.
Mm. Zug Zug.
Is that a name or?
No.
What is that? What you call the red ones?
He shakes his head no. He seems to speak broken common.
What does it mean then?
He lifts his hand and does the kind of like fingers or legs walking motion. Zug Zug.
Victor calls out front. What's going on over there, Ella?
As you guys stare at this wall, you just hear Zug Zug.
Now, if that's Orcish, Victor knows what that means.
Yes, it's go go.
Okay. So he sees that movement thing and kind of gives a slow nod of her head. Though she kind of pauses, kind of looking at this orc for a moment, and says, Do I smell exactly like them?
Stink.
Fiddles with her brain, gives a nod of her head.
Poor Ayla.
Okay. Let's go this way. I'm sure my group wants to interrogate you.
I don't know if that's the right word.
Yelps and jumps. Oh, hello. What's the right word then?
I mean, you've used it now. I guess we're interrogating him. I don't know if he even understands that word. He probably doesn't.
He just
Do
gives
you know
a
what it
blank
means, sir? No.
stare.
Victor will just say interrogate in Orcish. Yeah, now he knows what the word means.
Oh, where'd you tell him?
Ah. He walks around the wooden palisade for a minute,
It'll follow close behind.
and you guys are on the other side of the palisade, so you're kind of like shouting. But he goes over to this, secret latch, unhooks it, and this hidden gate opens up. As Ayla and the orc. Sounds like a fun buddy cop movie. Walk around the back of the prison.
I got him.
Good job,
Go ahead.
This is good job, Ayla. Victor will approach the orc and start speaking in Orcish to him. So, my friend, I was wondering what was going on with those vampires you were working with,
Filthy.
Looks over at Ayla. Well, I suppose that is an opinion to have, yeah? But the fact of the matter is if you don't like them, why are you working for them?
Even though she doesn't understand the fact that Victor looked her way at something he said, she's just internally thinking, oh no, they're talking about me.
Is Victor speaking in Orcish?
Yeah, he's speaking Orcish.
Okay.
The orc rubs at his chin a moment. Chieftain, strong chieftain, wanted to work with them. Some of us did not. Too filthy.
Victor looks over at the exploded chieftain behind them. Yeah, maybe not so strong at all, yeah?
Strong among us.
Fair enough. Well, it sounds like you had no love for the vampires, so I don't suppose you'd be amenable to the idea of giving us the information we need, yeah?
I don't know much about them. Other than they're filthy. Ayla, you've learned the word filthy in Orcish. Congratulations.
She is like fiddling with her brain and hunching her shoulders self-consciously.
S1's just gonna slowly like put a hand over her, on her shoulder. I do not think they're talking about you.
I think they are.
I do not think so.
Victor keeps looking my way, and the orc keeps using that word that he called me.
I think he's referring to the other vampires. Or just vampires in general. It's not specifically you, right? It's just as a whole.
Yeah, it's a generalization, Victor says.
Just think of it as if you were to call an orc filthy. It's, a generalization. Perhaps, they could be fairly clean. And, it's racism.
She glances towards the orc and like points at herself and says the word filthy in Orcish with a question mark.
I would like you to refer to in-session channel for what he does when you do that. Everybody can go there.
And does he nod his head or?
He just gives you that grin, and that's all you need to know.
Also, if Esteban... Oh, sorry.
I know, Ayla just goes to the nearest wall and just rests her forehead against it.
Ayla, if you feel better, why don't you go check on the kiddies? Make sure they're all right.
Yeah, I guess I'll do that.
Walks over there.
Completely defeated.
By the way, if Esteban or Victor look behind them, they see a napping Cass.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
She's
looks like Cash is going to sleep. Zypha, why don't you go with take care of Ayla and watch the kiddies as well?
Who'd have thought this orc had cutting words?
Are you telling a child to watch the other children?
With Ayla's help, yeah?
As she's just like staggering off because she's a neat freak who is called Filthy.
By an orc of all things. It's kind of like being cold, messy. It's like a pig saying, man, you're just covered in mud.
Anyway,
Anyways,
what
Victor
else do you wish to ask the orc?
Well, first thing, Victor's. So, mein Freund, why don't you first start off and then let's introduce ourselves, yeah? My name is Victor von Nomenstein, and you are?
Guck.
Ah, Gok, good strong orc name, yeah?
Hmm.
Well, Guck.
Stands up a little straighter.
Here's the thing. Victor's just gonna get his little Eldritch Magic kind of going on his fingertips. The fact of the matter is, you and your people did something very naughty the other day by attacking and killing a village of innocent people. This does not sit well with me. Now, I'm not one to judge on first appearances when mistakes could happen from poor leadership. And he looks up and smiles at him. Now, Gok, if I was to say help you get some leadership around here, you wouldn't make such poor decisions, yeah?
He kind of looks around a moment. What clan?
Well, I'm sure there's a few around.
There might be like 3 children left alive.
There was a lot of fireballs tossed.
Here is the thing that you could probably tell them. There is still an area here to be inhabited. Perhaps he could work amongst other people and, we could change this place into another sort of farming area or something of the sort. I don't know if people are willing to be working with an orc, but perhaps we could train him in combat, make him a useful guard, find out what else we can do.
I was thinking... Oh, sorry.
We'll find out what else we could do with this area.
I was thinking a similar thing. Everyone deserves a second chance, right, Grok?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could get a second chance with us as long as you behave yourself. So, if you do anything naughty, there are ways I could make your life very difficult, yeah?
Fire.
Oh, just for starters. But what did you know about these vampires? Did she explain why they were so interested in gathering children from the villages?
Esteban, make me a history check.
Yeet.
Esteban, you actually have a pretty good idea what that would have been for. Effectively, the Sanguinar
Yeah.
ritual. The orc, though, to answer your question, he just kind of shrugs. Chieftain didn't say.
Do I know which part of the Sanguinar? Is it the children to be eaten, or is it the children to become vampires?
Hard to say.
Okay.
In one instance, it could have been. It could go either way. Normally, though, they try to get them younger, like no older than 2, to kind of indoctrinate them into their ranks and try to turn them into vampires, as opposed to the
Older.
teenagers.
Yeah.
So it's possible that the teenagers were meant to be food, but you could really only speculate.
Yeah. Well, I might have an idea.
Victor looks over at you inquisitively. Oh yeah, what is that?
If things to do back with my home country. Things to do with vampirism. Crovania is well known for vampires, right? The entire court's just like vampires. Everyone knows they're vampires, but they're
Yep.
like civil.
So the thing
To a
about
degree.
Crovania is most nations, as like nations, try to avoid doing anything with them, because they are vampires and people have trust issues with vampires. They also, it's not like super common knowledge, but I would say somebody as well read as Victor would have probably read about some of this stuff. But more scholarly folks know about how the island is kind of structured as more of a prison for those that are not vampires. But like outside of the fact that the last country that tried to take out the Krelvanian vampires got completely destroyed and absorbed into their territory. The other thing that they do is if there are rogue vampires out in the world, they will send vampire hunters after them.
Okay.
And they kind of keep the vampires outside of their own country killed and
But royal houses are free to travel around, right? If they so wish.
yeah, royal houses can get away with a lot of stuff.
Okay. Which is why Esteban is here. Well, Sanguinar, do many outsiders... Well, is it not common knowledge, but is it knowledge that...
That one is actually knowledge that only people within Krelvanian circles would know. They keep that really close to the chest as far as who knows and
I
who
assume
learns
Esteban,
about it. It's
I assume Esteban shouldn't be sharing the information.
Esteban would know about it because of his family ties.
Yeah.
And things of that nature, but typically not even the people who live
In
there
Croatia,
that
no.
yeah, not like the standard Krelvanian populace.
Yeah.
They don't know about that. And those that learn about it typically are food, so they get killed anyway.
Mm.
So it's a very well-guarded secret. Now, whether or not Esteban decides to say something about it, it's up to him.
He's likely gonna withhold information for now. To put it very simply, it's a process of which vampirism it helps to convert others into vampires. Although there are a lot of different ways, this is a guarded secret.
I see. Interesting, Victor says. Well, I suppose we'll have to sort that out later then. Unfortunately, she got away with one of the children.
Indeed, they did. Well, I don't think there's much else we can do. Would I have known what spell was cast? What type of teleportation spell was cast?
Or would Victor?
You guys can make an Arcana.
26.
It was kind of like a modified teleportation circle.
Okay.
Modified in the sense of it lasts much less in time length. It's a shorter cast and a shorter spell, but
Okay.
it can't transport near as many people. It's basically enough for somebody like the guy who escaped to escape and be far out of reach.
Yeah. That would have been nice to take.
Oh, hello, Judah.
Welcome, Judah.
Hey, Judah!
Oh man, my fucking brain almost got a handle over me.
Yeah.
In a fit of sleepy, dreary desire for just sleep sustenance, my brain was like, "No, it's fine. Nobody will notice. You're safe here in my arms, swirling one."
The swirling one.
Sounds like
Yeah,
the
hi.
tree from the last unicorn.
Yeah, you see what happened, right? Is that it was like 7, and I think my brain tricked myself to being like, "Hey, things should have happened here," and things didn't. So you're in the clear. And when you are sleepy, that voice becomes so much more convincing. Whew. Whew. But I am here now, and wow, probably actually needed that extra bit because now I'm actually like awake. Like before, I was not awake. So, whew.
I wish I knew how that felt.
Okay, Judah. We're just interrogating an orc.
It called me
Nice.
filthy.
Oh, wait a second. Yeah, wait. Are we B team or?
We're B team right now.
We be
Oh!
team. We two be pencils.
Eee.
Though unfortunately,
And-
we did leave you behind. We did leave Dick behind because you weren't here last week.
Damn. It's fine though.
Miss Perf intros.
That's okay. There isn't too much else to do here at the orc camp anyway.
I want to set up everything here. No.
In any case, Victor would go, well, I suppose, what do you think, Estevan? We take the orc back and the orc children back to the city, or...
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the better idea.
Very
Give
good.
them a chance to see what it's like to be in a different society. People can change.
I suppose that is true. Or Victor will look at Estevan just kind of with a bit of thought and go, by the way, I do want to have a more specific talk about what those kids were for, Estevan.
Of course you do.
But in any case, let us head back, yeah?
Should probably search the area just in case they had any interesting items, no?
I suppose, well, I actually have to do some stuff while you do that, so you go ahead and do that while I get some other stuff going, yeah?
Alright.
So, just so we know, Victor's making 2 new skeletons out of the orc corpses.
Also, with checking on the kids, are they all right?
Scared, but alright.
Ayla will kneel down when she kind of sees them and give them a... Despite the fact that she's still very hurt by being called filthy, she'll push them aside for now and give them a small smile.
It's safe now. We're gonna bring you somewhere safer.
Oh, okay.
Here.
I just-
She'll reach out both hands.
You want to hold my hand? I'll make sure I stay close and keep both of you safe during our travels, okay?
They both look you dead in the eyes and go, "No, you're filthy." Just kidding.
Oh my god.
Just kidding. The older one kind of stands up and I think I'll be okay. I just need to eat. But the younger one does take Ayla's hand.
She give them a small smile and lead the two of them out, back over towards the rest of the group.
Okay.
I'm gonna look around for anything.
Yeah, roll me an investigation. Sorry,
I'm
I
gonna-
was reading you guys' chat.
I was gonna ask if anyone wanted to help me look around.
Cass is still napping.
He will leave her to nap if she's. She needs sleep.
She always needs sleep. What do you mean?
Exactly, which is why he's gonna leave her to her sleep.
Can you repeat that
Hey.
question? Because I missed it.
Who?
You.
Does anyone want to help me look around for perhaps anything that we could find of use here?
Me looking at my investigation. Oof. Ayla will kind of look down at the kids and say,
During the time that you were being kept here, did you perchance happen to see where any important things might be kept or any of the sort?
She's asking the kids.
Yep.
The older one shakes his head. No, they kept us in the prison pretty much the whole time.
Okay.
Victor, can you ask if this man, this orc fellow, knows the location of any interesting items? Perhaps he could take a cut.
Yeah, sure. So, Grok, do you know of any sort of interesting items you have in your village? Perhaps mighty weapons that, you would be able to share in the profit of.
Chieftain kept all the good stuff to himself.
Ah,
Lovely. Let's go look in here.
okay.
Zypher, do you want to come?
Sorry, I was sneezing as you asked.
So, like, that's in character. She just kind of looking at the bonfire, just sneezes.
Yeah.
Bless you. Yes, no. Am I going alone?
Okay.
Wonderful.
Cass at this point would wake up and just
She'll
still
skip it,
kind of
huh?
lean.
Alright, we're gonna search inside the headquarters.
Make me some fat investigation rolls.
Really should have used wit.
I will give I bardic inspiration to things.
Just Zypher?
Yeah.
I forgot I can guidance. Oops.
A little late now, but I'll let Zypher roll the extra, was it D8?
It is a D8.
Yeah.
24, nice.
24.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
So, Estevan, you look around for a minute and you're like, this place is squalorous.
He's just gonna give some encouraging words as he's looking around. I'm sure with your keener eyes and your younger mind, you could probably find places and hiding spots that, somewhere like good places that they will hide things.
For poops
Sounds
and
like-
smiles, Zypher, roll me an insight.
Oh god.
Invisible creature.
You're absolutely positive that he is a proponent of child labor at this point.
Wait, what?
I'm kidding.
Wow.
Zypher, you take a look around and eventually you find kind of a bear rug and you just lift it up with your childlike curiosity, and underneath there is some recently disturbed dirt. So I assume you start digging. And as you dig, you find a small footlocker. Within that footlocker is 1,000 gold and a very intriguing looking dagger. The dagger
Ooh, I
just
found pretty.
seems to gleam in the dark light,
Do you mind if
regardless of.
I take a look at that dagger, Zypher?
She'll hold on to it and she'll like look at it and then she'll kind of sadly hand it to you.
It's just for a moment. Can I gleam anything off the dagger? Just by making an arcana check?
Yeah, go ahead. It's magical.
Shit. I mean, pardon my language. Alright. Well, do you mind if I let Victor take a look at this? Then perhaps, maybe, we'll see what it can do. Or do you want to hold it on for now until we ask him?
I imagine she's looking at the gold now and she's like, look at what?
Nothing. Do you want to take some gold?
Okay.
Oh boy. How much do you plan on taking?
She just like grabs like a handful.
I assume she has like fairly small hands, so I mean,
Yeah.
how much
Yeah,
did she roll?
you get like.
4d10
roll me-
or something?
Do you do both hands and just like kind of cup it in?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll me a 4d10.
Does she have like a visible coin pouch?
Yes.
Okay. Here, do you mind if I grab this for you and I'll open it up and you can pour it in?
You gain 28 gold.
Dude. I was gonna give her like 15 and now instead I get like almost double.
You'll open the pouch for her and she kind of, I guess, pulls it in.
Yeah.
And there's
Alright.
972 gold left.
It will pick up the chest locker and we should probably share this with the others, right?
If you
Yeah.
want. It's up to
Pick
you.
it up.
You
He's
do
not.
yourself.
He's not like that.
He's not Davia.
True.
I have a
Okay.
question though, Nana. How are the kids reacting to Wolfie?
At first, a little. What the fuck? A little scared, but they kind of get used to him after a while. It's a little unusual for them to see a mechanical wolf.
He's basically like an oversized puppy with them.
Actually, while the kids are doing that, can Ayla also kind of take like a quick little kind of checkup of all of them, and like in terms of both any wounds or health if they're sick?
Yeah, you can. Oh, it's the fucking neighbors. You can roll a medicine check. I kept hearing banging downstairs. I was like, what the fuck? Nobody's home but me.
24.
They seem a little malnourished, a little dehydrated, scuffed up and bruised, but they aren't missing anything. The orcs didn't start eating them yet, so.
Ayla will, upon seeing that, start gathering some of her rations and water to start feeding them and having them drink, and in the same time also start tending to their smaller injuries.
As Estevan leaves the headquarters with Zypher, he's just going to say, alright, so those right there, those gold pieces are very important. If you see a red tiefling woman who looks very pretty, do not tell her, do not give her your gold, do not... I'm sure she wouldn't stoop that low. You know what? I don't know.
Don't you believe it?
Victor, when you're done, I have a dagger that seems enchanted with some sort of magic that if you would like to take a look.
Oh, of course, yeah, I'll get to it right away. Actually, you mind? And he's gonna hand you let me take a peek at it. And he will, he'll just cast Identify. I got his first level spell. Oh, I guess I don't have it memorized. I can't cast it. I'll have to still...
Cass leans
imagine-
over the shoulder and identifies as well, just because she wants to find out herself.
I imagine he just like kind of passes a bony hand to him, and Esteban just passes the dagger back, and he's like,
Yes, pretty much as he was working on skeletalizing him.
So you cast Identify on the dagger. It's a +1 dagger, but it also, in dim dark conditions, will shed dim light in a 5-foot radius and bright light in a 10-foot radius.
Only
Is
the
it-
presence of orcs, though.
is it toggleable? Or is it permanent?
Yeah, I'd say it's toggleable.
Okay.
So
makes-
apparently this is a basic +1 dagger with a bit of a light source to it, yeah?
I guess I suppose Ayla could use it, or if Halani wants
Pretty,
to.
pretty, pretty.
Oh, here you go, Cypher. You found it.
Or I guess I forget it. That's fine.
Ella kind of glances up, gives an appreciative glance for at least considering Esteban, and then returns to working on the kids.
I feel like life is never gonna use. She just gonna be having a collection of shiny objects that just never can use.
Really, it's not that useful for Ayla. Ayla doesn't really melee fight with daggers.
Is she not?
She can throw it.
It is
Yeah,
a
she's
plus
got-
one.
Yeah, because of what she is and whatnot, she can do either far range or close range combat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom really quick, guys, so you guys can roleplay amongst yourself.
Yeah. Also, +1
But it-
daggers.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wolfie's
they're not-
having the best time.
They're not bad, but a +1 dagger does the same damage or less than a short sword.
Well, it's to overcome the
Magic resistance, yeah.
resistance. Yeah.
I will be honest, Zypher only thinks it's pretty because it should fly.
Yeah, we figured.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wolfie's having
I mean,
time of his life, though.
Ella's fine with giving it up, just the fact that she was at least considered for a moment was nice.
Aw.
Well, it was, Victor would have suggested to Ayla as well, except for the fact that Zypher said it was pretty, like, well, she found it. Hey, should we just distribute the gold evenly of what's remaining?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would probably continue to split out another even share. I think what Esteban would do, he would split a share with the orc as well.
No.
Just because he. I know you're saying no. This is Esteban.
Cass would not be okay with this if you told her. I'm
If
saying
he told
if
her.
you told
If-
her. Yeah, if you don't tell her, she wouldn't care. But
That's quite kind of you.
if she makes it evident though, she's gonna be like, no, what do you mean? I don't care. Give me my money.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, it splits against Xiao as well, because Xiao was also accompanying us, where he is not on the map for whatever reason.
I deleted him on accident.
Okay.
Zhao is there. He's just kind of
142 each.
burying the dead that were being cooked.
Esteban's just gonna have the gold out and just kind of split it into even piles as everyone's kind of doing that. So how much is it? 972.
142
divided by-
each with 8 silver.
8. I'm doing 8 people, right?
I mean-
Ayla, that's 2, 3, 4, 5.
If you're
6.
counting Zypher, you can just do it
No,
from 1,000 and then just give her the extra that she would have gotten.
He doesn't care.
I'm just saying, if you were, I'm just saying that's the way you could do it.
972 divided by what, 7 people here, I think, with Yao. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 138. 138 each.
138.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just hand Guk this money. Mm.
You could probably use it when you head into the town. Things are going to be changing, and it's probably for the best that you have a decent amount of gold for some things.
Guk is quite surprised. Guk get money. Guk never got money under Chieftain.
Things are changing.
Yeah, it's a bright new world and all that. Speaking of which, do you mind helping with that corpse over there?
God. Which one?
Which one?
Gag,
I
right?
love that. Which one?
And so I just kind of looks over the field, and he just mutters under his breath. It almost looks like the lab of one of my exes.
Oh god.
Anyways, Victor will get, given the hours it takes to do everything, Victor will resurrect his 2 skeletons. Bill and Ted.
Nice.
Also, is it a known thing that these 2 kids were taken from the town that was destroyed?
Yeah, I think it was implied.
Okay. So we could probably assume that these kids' family is dead.
Yes.
Okay.
They're very much orphans right now.
Okay.
You have never seen such orphans.
Talking to the 2 of the kids.
Victor's no longer opening a tavern, he's opening an orphanage.
Talking to
both.
Alright, well, if everyone's adjourned here, we could get going.
What were you saying Ayla's doing? I'm sorry.
Oh, she's just gonna talk to the 2 kids and kind of just say,
we're going to return back to our hometown, where we can have the 2 of you taken care of. In the meantime, though, you will need something to kind of get you going.
she'll with the money that she was given, she'll split it between the 2. Give 50 to both.
50 gold?
Yep.
Jesus.
Ayla, yes. A lot of money to 2 children.
Do you expect him to, like, buy a house or something over there?
Huh? Oh, no, not, of course, to be spent all at once. I just meant, for over the years.
Well, I was
If
thinking they would
possible-
move into the castle with the rest of us.
Yes, I know.
If they carry gold around like that, it is possible that they could be attacked for.
Oh,
Probably.
yes, I'll hold on to it, but...
It's a bit of a target, yeah? It's like
No, I
10-year-olds,
am going to hold on to it. I just meant that, for once we're there.
Okay, that's fine.
Just give it to him as an allowance over there. Time.
She gives she gives both Victor and Esteban like a curious look, but returns her attention back to the kids.
As you give Victor and Esteban a curious look, Guk leans in. Filthy.
Oh my god.
Cass will just pipe up hearing this conversation. Also, we have more kids back at the keep if you want to tell them about those kids, Victor. They might know them.
Yeah, we found some possible friends of yours. They the ones who told us to come and save you. I believe their names are Percy, Reveline, and Kira.
Both the boys look a little surprised by that. You can roll insights to discern anything further.
Sure,
Cass
Victor's
doesn't care.
I
an
will
insightful
insight.
person.
No, I won't.
Yes, he will. Victor knows his kitties.
Does Esteban care about? Well, what is their expressions on their face that just look surprised?
That's what we
It
get without an
goes-
insight.
It goes from surprise to something else. You can roll me an insight.
Okay.
Damn. So Victor and
insightful.
Esteban, you can both tell that they both harbor a little guilt over something. But you're sure that it's nothing overly major? I mean, they're just kids after all.
They're just kids, yeah. He's not gonna question them.
Victor will just.
He wasn't.
Oh.
Go on.
Victor was just gonna pat their shoulder. Goes, "Don't worry about those things, yeah. I'm sure everyone will be happy to see everyone here, yeah."
Yeah,
Yes.
Esteban wasn't that like interested. Like he wasn't gonna intrude upon their minds and be like, "Oh, well, what's the reason?" And he's just like, "Oh, they're just kids."
What are you hiding from us?
What are you hiding, children?
Victor's not going that route. He just sees that they're feeling guilty and you
Yeah.
know, bad situation. He's doing the Papa thing.
Hmm.
Esteban turns into the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang Witch.
The Chitty Chitty Bang Bang Witch.
You never seen that movie, Heath? I'm kind of
I've seen
surprised.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I don't remember no witch. I remember
It's not a witch. It was like an old guy where he's like, I smell.
Oh yeah, the
children."
child stealer. Yeah.
Yeah, the child thief.
Oh
Good
I
job.
called it a witch, but I think it was a dude with a big nose.
It was a dude with a big nose. Yes,
Might as well
Close
be a
enough.
witch.
he was technically hired by the government to take all the children, though. So he was a government official.
Jesus Christ. That was a ate-up movie.
It was a really made-up movie.
Yeah, can we go home now so we can
Yeah.
can we get some tick action in here?
Yeah, we'll head back to the now with Bill and Ted, and he will get Bill and Ted to bring a couple more orc corpses back with him. So
As you guys are leaving out, you hear a soft squeak.
Yeah, I
Um,
assume we take the orc children
Wait.
as well.
There's 3 orc children left alive, and they kind of like run out and look at Guck a moment. And Guck just and nods his head for them to follow along.
Was this or was the squeak the children or what's the squeak from?
Giant mice.
It was from the kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I assumed we were taking them back.
Mhm.
Onwards. Well,
And upwards.
You guys have a very unusual town.
Oh yeah, we do.
we rescued a lot of children, alright? You put them there.
Orcs, minotaurs, undead.
Let's just we're the B group for a reason. We're the eccentric
Vampires?
bunch.
vampires, gnomes, Warforged. Yeah, I mean, it is the true Heinz. It is the most diverse city in the in this world. We are going for like everyone is welcome.
We even welcomed
Tieflings.
Gaston.
Uh,
To it.
Demigods.
Dolls.
Oh god.
Robot wolves.
Pirates?
Onwards!
Samurai. Alright.
Weird death guys. Sentinels. Bird people.
There's gonna be a lot of fucking tokens on this map.
Dragon mounts.
So, you guys take the time to return. Tick. I don't know what Tick is doing. He got kind of left behind.
Oh, Tick worked on what he was doing.
Yeah, overslept.
Oh.
Someone Victor probably let a little sticky note saying that the group will be right back. Tick climbs down to the top of the manor, lets out a few bird calls to see if anyone can hear. No response. God damn it, probably from Davia at some point. Went back to work on some things, wondering how Victor is hanging with Smell, Sivan, and Ale. Sanitizes the lab twice, and his bird is monitoring the kids, following them in case they're doing anything bad.
What's
Mhm.
Percy doing? What are the other 3 kids doing? Replique, Kyra, and Percy.
Just because, like, particularly when I say kids, I say in particular Victor's rather, but he, as at least, is kind of keeping a close watch on them personally, not interacting much with them. And Percy, on the other hand, he's kind of, he's still frankly a little despondent. But he's just very active, rather staying abnormally quiet for a kid his age.
Kara's definitely gonna take some swimming and stuff like that. Probably like, be a bit, still have that mischievous trickster streak of hers by like messing around with the villagers, but nothing too bad, of course, and just sticking around the 2 kids that made it out alive, and now possibly vampire food.
Jade screams in terror as she is eaten alive.
And Reverie?
Eventually, you'll find out Jade's fate. Eventually, maybe.
Sadness. Reveille would just want to be learning magic.
Excelina is dead.
Nobody asked.
She's up in the fields of Elysium and Valhalla fighting other Exelinas.
It's just Exelinas everywhere.
Don't ruin that place for the rest of us, please.
Exelina is the Meeseeks of this world.
No, not
I'm Excelina, look at me!
I hate it here.
I hate everything now about this world.
Who's leaving the campaign now?
I am.
All of us.
Hey, I don't know.
He's the
I'm
only
one
still here. I'm still here.
He's in Storm with you.
Yeah, well, you don't count in all of us.
Wow, okay.
You don't even have enough sleep to count as a person yet.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Roasted.
Anyways, back to
You
game, I
need
guess, guys.
some aloe vera for that burn?
That actually begs the question: are we doing Storms after this, or is Storm going
Indeed.
to prioritize himself and sleep?
No, I've had a decent amount of sleep.
You had
Okay.
4 hours.
More than me.
You had 4 hours.
Yeah, that's fine.
We can
Like,
sleep
Judah,
after the
My
games.
God.
I'll sleep after
Anyway.
the game.
Anyway, so a couple of days pass, but eventually, Tick, you do see on the horizon a familiar small silhouette, accompanied by a few larger silhouettes, one very orc silhouette, and a few children, as Victor and the B team return.
Tick kind of he had left his bird out to just kind of see and purvey, and kind of immediately upon seeing kind of returns back into the room or back inside of the manor before himself just kind of runs out to kind of see everybody in the lot, and then kind of seeing the orc just squints.
He's part of the town now.
Spoilers of war and all that sort of thing, mein Freund. He has changed the errors of his ways and has decided to live a better and more peaceful life. Isn't that right, Grok?
I don't know about peaceful. He could be a valuable warrior. I'm sure he'd rather much prefer a warrior life. But,
Well, when I mean peaceful, I mean, not the evil-doing stuff, yeah?
indeed.
Guck just kind of looks over.
None of the evil doing stuff, yeah?
He just looks over to Ayla. Filthy.
She just probably gives like the 60th sigh she's given during the travels of hearing that.
If a bird could fucking smile.
Which is great, because he can now look at Ayla and go, filthy.
If a bird could fucking smile.
Cass would just like have her arm just very gently, just like almost in a weird kind of like support, but I don't want to physically touch you, like pat of reassurance on Ayla's back. She'd give that.
Seeing all this and like seeing just that glint in Tick's eye, Ayla's just gonna be like,
I'm gonna go take a bath.
And she'll just walk off.
Tick gives a little wave in her direction with not great intention, before looking back over and then, again, eyes zooming in on the new person.
He's a child with a creepy doll.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
exactly.
This is
So if
Zypher,
anything, I'd say,
our,
like,
a new friend, yeah?
lightly, just the tuft of feathers, his hackles kind of raised just a tiny bit, just like,
But she's like, yeah, this is our new friend, Zypher. She's got and that's her sister over there. She points to the little doll in her hand. Apparently, her sister was, her son is trapped inside the doll, and she needs some help freeing him. I figured, it's a smarty pounces like me and you, we could help her sort this sort of thing out, yeah?
could you repeat that? Sorry.
No, basically he's saying is that her sister's doll, that the doll is her older sister, but her spirit was trapped inside the doll. She needs help. Victor and Tick can help out because we're smarty pants.
Her sister is also a demigod, and the binding is something that we cannot break at all at the moment.
So what you're saying is that it's a challenge.
It
Yes.
is very. It's like a lich's phylactery, but different.
Tick likes challenges.
Victor soon.
But kind of seeing and looking at her for a decent bit of time. What does she look like? Does she kind of look, from what I've seen, she kind of is a bit of a wild child.
She likes fire.
I mean, this bird creature is just going to be staring at Zypher for like a little bit.
I think the word you're looking for is unkempt.
Unkempt, understood. After hearing that maybe we're going to be doing stuff, and it's just like, kind of taps a few sides on this bird a lot before the bird just sprays a cleaning salve over Zypher. It smells like linen.
Well, now she smells clean and unkempt.
Oh no, just essentially prestidigitizes. It's just like, oh, dirty. Unkempt is fine, but I mean, God, yeah.
Zypher wouldn't have been like dirty. She has prestige as well, so she would.
Anyone who is on the outside is dirty.
Cass
In fact,
also-
actually, everyone available, frankly, gets the cleaning salve.
Cass is clean. Like I can
That
cast prestidigitation, so I am
doesn't
always clean.
Matter.
My coat is as white as snow.
You are getting the bird poof.
Fine. Okay.
I don't know if you want to talk about bird poofs around Esteban.
There's still a little stain on his coat that can never
He-
come out.
Thoroughly
very-
got Zypher to clean that off.
Tick is still very much pointedly ignoring Esteban's presence, rather, and is just kind of looking still towards Victor, just kind of tilted the head, and eventually he just goes ahead and almost rolls his eyes and just kind of takes out his sign and just taps it twice on the ground and just it basically just says what all happened while you guys were gone.
Since Victor isn't here, Cass will explain it to him in detail about how the kids came in. They were like, "We need help" and stuff like that. I'm giving you the basic gist of it. Kids said they needed help because their friend got kidnapped and stuff like that by these orcs, and the orc kind of like burned down the village. You already know that part. We went over there, and we found out that they are selling them to these like vampire people, and a deal was going to be made, and so we kind of interfered in that. Victor blew a kid up with fireball. There was a lot of fireballs. Cass tanked like a weird jubei, and we kind of stopped them, but like Jade was taken in the process of it because of weird teleportation circle thingamading-ding. And So we saved 2 of the kids, and Ayla pretty much like grabbed the guy's face and it imploded on itself. And we got this guy who surrendered, and he's pretty cool and stuff like that. And apparently it was like a pale orc thing like that. It's like the orc of the pale hand or something like that is what it called. The group was, and they're like really bad, and they kind of serve the greatest and biggest bad. And kind of we just did our job now, I guess. We're gonna murdered all of them, and now we have these kids too.
Tick kind of nods at that. Very wide arc of the head as he's just like at the whole or not Jubei. Victor blew up a kid. So that's a surprise. But
I don't know if
at
that's
that
how
though, yeah. What was blew up a kid, Everin or Ares? What?
Yes. He blew up a kid by accident, but he still did it.
Oh.
With
Yeah, me and the
fireball.
rest of the party.
Yep.
Because everybody
Oh,
blew up
okay.
kids in that fight because there were fireballs directly in all those other buildings. I'm pretty sure Nano just didn't say the other kids were lit up.
Oh.
I thought I'd
don't
spare you the details.
I don't know if Tix cares about orc children.
Oh, see, all you have to say was that they were orc children.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah,
orc
they're
children.
orc children.
Yeah, they're orc children.
Actually, not even then. Actually, especially knowing the story that Victor had kind of shared with him, Tick kind of nods a little bit solemnly, and kind of rolls his eyes at the Ayla thing. Quick message on the sign displaying: "Monster begets monster things." But that's besides the point. Kind of tapping the sign again is just. So Jade is gone. That's unfortunate. One of them keeps talking about her.
Yeah, she, the one's name Jade did not make it back. She was, the first ones they took. I'm not sure why.
Do you think we should get all the kids here?
Tick kind of scratches a little bit, ruffles his feathers, and kind of taps his tine again, and just says, I don't think that Percy one can handle that type of news right now.
Perhaps Kira, the oldest, would know something. Yeah?
Shrug.
Children have to learn sometime.
I sent Wolfie to go get Kira.
And
Tick
Victor will...
would turn towards Estevan with just this almost bird scowl and just taps this sign. It's just, people would like to learn a lot of things now, wouldn't they? And just stares.
I walked right into that one.
Just a very...
He just gives you a shit-eating grin as he says that.
Yeah, no, it's like... It's very much like a return of said kind of glint, but very much in a sarcastic way as he just nods and then turns back over to Victor.
I do know
And
that
he just
it's gonna
kind
be
of-
a bit hot for those kitties. I do realize that, Tick, but I mean, they're gonna find out immediately after. At least 2 of their friends were saved, at least, but I don't
It
know
would be
why
s-
they.
Go on.
I just don't know why they were so interested in Jade. It seems like they targeted her specifically for the thing.
I think it would be strange if we were to return and them to find us, ask the question eventually, and realize that Jade is not here. It will come eventually. There's no way to avoid it.
He kind of throws up a little bit of a shrug and kind of nods in agreement.
Victor, see, I'm assuming Kira's probably walking back with Wolfie at this point.
I would assume so.
Ah!
Nanos? Is Nano here?
I'm here.
Okay. So what's she?
Your character.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make. I'm sorry. Okay, we're good.
Kira, Zayo, I have a question for you.
Before she gets like close to him, she kind of just points at the orc.
Yeah, don't worry about him at the moment. He is here to repent from his sins, sort of thing, yeah?
Are you sure about that?
Well, if he isn't, he'll make a good skeleton, he says with a glare at the orc. With Bill and Ted behind him, carrying Bill and Ted now behind him.
Tick taps his sign twice, and just with a smiley face attached at the end, it just says, "And test pilot."
Well, okay. Just walks over to Victor and see what is it?
First, Victor's going to look kind of solemn. First, I have some bad news for you, Kira. We were unable to save your friend Jade. When we got there, they seemed to be very focused on her, and took her away immediately, leaving the others behind. This is a little confusing. Do you know anything about your friends that would make them do such a thing?
Well, I don't know how rare tabaxis are, but she also had weird blood, I guess.
Weird?
Can we say that this is when Percy kind of walks in?
Weird blood? Weird in what way?
It was like this yellowish gold color. We've noticed it since she got hurt a lot.
Wait.
Victor starts coughing.
God damn.
Percy will hurriedly kind of walk to the side of Kira and just, what's happening? What's happening?
Apparently it's the worst case scenario I can think of. I am so
Percy
sorry.
visibly shrivels at that. What do you... Where's Jade?
We weren't able to save her, my boy. But don't worry. I think, given what we just found out, whatever is going to happen, I think she might still be alive. He's gonna look over at Esteban. Esteban! Is that talk? We're having it now!
Alright.
I want to know...
Wait,
Ooh.
what do you mean? I thought that... I mean, she had weird blood and everything, but nothing was wrong with her, right?
No,
Yeah,
they
nothing's
took her.
wrong with her. Just, she probably seemed very important to them for whatever reason.
she was. And kind of looks down.
She is important. And we are on a bit of a time click here, but we need to sort this out now before things get worse for there. And he looks over. Esteban, would you rather do this in private, or do you want this out in the open?
Private.
Very well.
I mean, before you go, Mr. Victor, did you bring anyone else back?
Oh yeah, the two boys we brought back as well.
Looks over. Oh, you two.
Wait a second. Who?
The bullies.
Yeah, the boys.
Oh! Oh no, yeah. Percy just looks over at them after already being very not pleased with the news that he had kind of received. And then just looks over towards Victor and just says, "You got them back?"
Victor kind of gives a sad smile. Those that we could, yeah, we did. And I
Kyra?
promise.
Sorry, Kyra has like a clear, like, I want to kill these two right now.
Victor will kind of put a hand on, well, I guess not on her shoulders, and she's bigger than him. It's she's a teenager, not a kid.
Percy just stares at the two of them as tears begin to slowly fill his eyes.
Neither of them make eye contact at the moment.
It should have been you two.
Percy, I don't think that's the way you should speak like that.
He
Victor
just
looks-
turns away and starts walking.
You don't know what they did to him. To us. They were cruel.
They
Okay.
bullied you, yeah?
They literally attacked him.
I'm
Literally,
not aware.
Victor will kind of give her a bit of a frown. Yeah, she literally attacked him, And she looks at her, kind of expecting her to go, you should know what that means now. What literal attacking looks like. Your village was just raided by orcs. They have bad feelings. I can tell you this much. They're ashamed of us the way they've, They do have a right to make mistakes and change, child. They've been through hell just like everyone else, and they're gonna need time to heal. You all will.
Do not try to be quick to pin the blame for others for something that they didn't do. Sure, they bullied you, and I'm sure they've learned from that mistake. I'm sure they learned that there is more things than teasing others and making them feel bad. They've seen what happens. They know that being captured in a prison full of orcs who are quite prepared to eat you, and you don't know whether the next hour you'll be alive or not. That is something that will haunt them for, if not the rest of their life, a considerable amount of time.
Percy had walked a little bit of ways, but kind of at the comments and whatnot directed at him. Yeah, still within earshot as he kind of stood standing away, very clearly, especially with the things that are being said, shaky, only continuing.
Here is a suggestion. If you're looking to improve upon yourselves, and if you're lost at the moment, then find something to do. Find something to channel your emotions. Be it a craft, be it a skill, be it perhaps trying to become a warrior or a wizard of some sort. Whatever it is. Whatever you think you might excel at. Try to focus your energy there.
Kyra just has rage in her eyes as she looks at both of Victor and Esteban.
I just want my friend back.
I promise you we will do what we can, mine. I promise you
We'll
we
try
will
to find her.
And with that statement, he looks back over at Esteban. And on that note, we need to discuss exactly what we need to do at this point, yeah?
Indeed.
Chuck
You will look-
kind of had been. Oh, sorry, just real quick. He had been kind of not trying to stay too close to the kids all to that time, but kind of walking over towards Percy. Who had already at this point kind of went against a wall and just kind of sat down. Tick kind of awkwardly sits next to him and just out of his mouth begins to emanate a familiar tune for Victor.
Victor looks over at Tick with a smile. I know, child. Yeah, there's been some tough times at the moment, but we have to keep moving, yeah? There are dark times ahead, and if we don't keep ahead of them, it will only get worse.
Well, let's go have this conversation.
Looks over at Tick. Tick, would you wish to join us, or would you rather stay here?
He rather quickly gets up, but not without kind of placing the bird next, and eventually it seems to perch on his shoulder. He very much had dug his head in between his knees and just kind of sitting there very clearly emotional, Percy at least. And, the bird just kind of keeps watch, and he gets up and starts heading over.
Okay, then.
As
Great.
when they're about to walk off, Kyra is just wanting to say something, but deciding not to. Is just gonna phase step away with fire, and she is clearly still angry and enraged by this, and is just gonna walk over to Percy and just slump next to him. Clearly the rage directed at both of them.
Because you are a familiar presence, even despite how mad she is, he actually leans a little bit on her.
She'd allow it.
But and again, at Estefan's little remark, Tick does nothing. He just looks up at Esteban, glares, and just the sound of crackling fire emanates from his mouth. But otherwise, he doesn't do anything.
I mean, I assume you're a 2-package deal. But, whereas Victor has given me reasons to trust him, you still harbor resentment against me, and this is information about my home country. I would much prefer to put things behind us. I know, probably you do not want to. Unfortunately, things are the way it is for the time being.
Tick just looks, and unfortunately, I don't remember how fucking mad he was back then, so I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, no, I know he was pretty fucking mad, but it's just, some time has passed since then.
It's been a considerable amount of time, yeah.
Yeah, so if anything, yeah, he can. I mean, he can stay angry for a fucking long time, but Tick kind of looks over towards him for a bit of time.
There's no shit-eating grin. There's no smile over them. He just looks like he's just tired of this. He was tired at the conversation, and he's tired now.
Victor just looks at the pair of them and goes, for the time being, when I understand your concerns about your home, I'm not worried about our... Then he looks about previous conversation at the moment. At the moment, all I care about is trying to get that little girl back alive as quick as possible.
Exactly.
Tick just turns around and looks over towards Victor, and then just has a gesture hand, kind of gesturing at him, and then points in between the two of them.
I don't know what you meant by gesturing at him.
I have a reason to trust him.
Oh.
And he just shrugs at that.
There's nothing special. We just had a conversation and talked. I mean, I feel like Esteban probably would have tried a few attempts, but probably met with resistance, and he just kind of
Yeah.
with just instant remarks. He's just I mean, I suppose if you want to continue being like that, I'll just leave it.
Angry bird is angry.
But,
but Tick kind of sees this, and all that sweet, sweet corvid rage that he can hold for generations to come. Again, he just looks over towards Victor, picks out a sign, taps twice, and it's just... So you two are buddy-buddy now?
Victor gives it a funny quirk and says, I wouldn't go that far, but they reached an understanding, I suppose. The fact of the matter is, Tick, I understand why you are still angry, and to be fair, I'm not very happy about our previous conversation either. But, as I said, this is not the time to air that grievance. There's a little girl out there, terrified, alone, and for all we know, is about to have something horrible done to her by some... And Victor looks over at Esteban. I'm hoping renegade vampires. And I would like very much for this to not happen if at all possible to avoid.
Tick just looks slowly from Victor back over towards Estevan, and for a hot minute, kind of just stares at him, not glaring. But after a bit of time, with just the sound of a breeze emanating from his mouth, he taps a sign, and it's just... Can't give the world flight if there's nobody to fly after, so... And then proceeds to put the sign back. And... I would say... hesitates before taking it back out, tapping it again, and then this time towards Estevan. I said back at the tournament that you could prove to me that you're not going to do what you did again. This is that moment.
Define what you mean.
An almost glint of amusement kind of comes to his eyes at realizing something, and he taps the sign again, giving up.
No. It's one-on-one situations, not my forte, especially in a situation like that. I apologize. You got matched up with the wrong partner for that. Information, supporting a larger group who can cover the front lines. That's
Tix
where I
just shakes his head. And he points at himself. He points at Victor. And he gestures to the previous room and even to the entire manor. And just points at the sign again that says giving up. And then shakes his head.
Can I insight chat? I, as a player, I'm not. I feel like Estevan knows, and I don't know.
Estevan's a smart boy. I mean, you can
He's
go
really
for
not.
it.
He's insightful, but he's not that smart.
He's an
He's
insightful.
insightful. Oh, he's not that
Tick
insightful.
just stares, and then when he sees that sweet, sweet humanoid glint of he doesn't fucking get it, they never do, he just... Fire crackles from his mouth again as he bangs the sign just a little bit hard to where just a chip of the corner falls out. And it just says, give up in a tournament, sure, but don't give up on this entire team.
I never intended to. I fucking knew that was what it was implied.
But
I was like, I don't know. There's so many like actual things that could be implied here, and he doesn't want to seem like an idiot.
But yeah, no. After hearing the never intend, the very, very long, illustrious way of just saying yes, he just repeats a previous okay or yes that Estevan has said in the past a few times before, and then just kind of puts the sign away, and then with a very feathery hand reaches out towards Estevan.
Estevan was shaking.
He returns the hand before looking back over towards Victor.
He gives you a small smile.
Taps the sign twice. Does this mean that I have to forgive Ayla too?
That is up to you.
Victor kind of looks up with a thinking and scratches his chin. You know what? Take one step at a time.
I'm not going to tell you whether or not you should forgive Ayla. That is a different thing altogether.
He taps the sign again, and a bit of a smiley face and returns to Victor, but looking over towards Estevan at his words, he very clearly heard what was said, but he starts walking forward, indicating that he probably isn't quite ready for those words just yet.
Alright. I assume they are making their way into a secluded location.
Probably Baker's lab. It's soundproof.
For the lab.
Because we made many explosions. If we didn't soundproof that, nobody would ever sleep.
No one can hear you screaming there.
As the entrance, unless Nana was going to say something. Nana?
Hmm?
Oh, I had like your microphone. I thought you were going to say something.
I was drinking water. Sorry.
Okay. Alright. Well, I guess.
Do we want to cut to someone else before we could get this conversation going, though?
I don't know. Do you guys have anything else to say on your other characters?
A team? Or B team?
I feel like the A team will take just as long as this conversation you guys are about to have,
Okay.
if not longer. Because there's a lot to cover there.
Anything?
I will say the A team, for the most part, dealt with relatively peaceful travel. There were a couple of ambushes, but it wasn't anything that they couldn't handle.
Can I say
Plus,
that?
it's pretty fucking dumb to ambush the amount of people that are traveling in the first place. So,
Could I say that Tick would actually look for Ayla? Unless
I feel like they're going to the conversation. I don't know. Unlike, I mean,
if you want to look for Ayla, you can.
I mean, can't we? I mean, I don't think we have to have the entire conversation and stuff like that.
oh no, guys, you guys are misinterpreting what's happening. I mean, I guess would that be a perception check or what's happening?
That would be a perception check.
Yee.
Wait, I'm curious what's going on.
So I like to think Tick at some point is just like, oh yeah, I should probably do the thing I was thinking about. Looks left, looks right. Okay, she's not here. Continues walking.
Basically.
He did not have enough energy to want to do what he was thinking.
Do I want to know?
I'll DM it to you. It's really small, but I need it to happen because it'll be funny.
Oh boy.
Well, we all know where
curious
Ayla
what's
is. I
going
mean,
on.
Ayla's in the baths.
Tick had the plans that he might have wanted to do, but
Oh, okay.
that, yeah. So,
Was there something you want to do first, though, with your character, Ares?
I just wanted to do some work on something.
What do you mean?
I have a half plate armor. I need to fix that.
I mean, you guys have a forge.
I would like to do that.
Okay. Give me a smithing tool check. We'll see how far along you get today.
Can I give myself guidance?
Sure.
Okay. And what attribute would it be?
Usually strength with smithing tools, yep.
Strength?
Yep.
That's smithing tools.
Oh, but still, plus 1d4.
You get pretty good traction on it. It's not like completely done yet, but you didn't destroy it, and it looks almost serviceable. It'll take you a little bit longer and some more materials. You might have to purchase some materials from the mines or from somewhere else, but it'll be like half the cost of what half plate normally is.
Okay.
Alright, anything else?
No.
So before we start the chat, give me 2 seconds. I just gotta go run off and get something for my food.
What's the chat
Okay.
supposed to be, anyways?
About Crovania.
Oh. Do we have to go in depth about that?
Possibly.
Is everyone gonna be there? Just you 2 or 3?
There's only 3 people.
Okay.
What's Zypher doing in all of this?
Yes, what is Zypher doing? First time she's been at a castle.
Is if we're gonna hang with the kids?
Zypher would probably be trying to follow Victor around. Because Victor's the one who said that he would help Zypher with Madeline.
Cass also said that too. But she still finds Zypher really weird.
Yeah, but Cass also tries to stay as far away from Zypher as possible.
Back.
So currently Zypher's tagging along behind Victor.
Okay, so Zypher's following us into the meeting room.
What even is this room you're going into?
It's
Oh.
it's the lab.
It's the research lab.
So like bottles and stuff like that, or?
Well, it's the arcane magic bottles, I suppose, but not a lot. It's more magical paper, stuff like that.
Wait, question.
So like looks like a
No,
library.
no gold has really been pumped into it, so it's pretty meager at the moment.
Yeah, it's basically Victor's own personal supplies.
So it looks kind of like a rundown library.
Yeah, with Victor and Tick stuff in there.
Okay.
Am I babysitting the dragon?
I guess so.
I mean,
Okay.
I don't know
I'll
if it needs
babysit it.
babysitting. Just
I
kinda
don't
sit
know.
there.
I'm in the forge. Yeah, I'm usually in there all the time. So yeah, I guess Cass is the de facto babysitter for the dragon.
It is,
Tick, you can trust
from
her.
what I recall, a gemstone dragon, so it doesn't need to be in the forge.
I don't know. We don't know where else to put it. So yeah,
I'll give it
I'll keep an eye
some-
on it.
some room.
I mean, it's probably been playing with the Minotaur children and stuff, let's be honest.
Damn minutes.
Oh yeah, it
children.
hatched.
Ugh. Yeah, it hatched.
Still got it hatched.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Add dragon onto the list of weird things in your guys' town.
Zypher, is it alright if I have a conversation with these two for the moment?
And she's still gonna follow.
A private conversation.
Oh,
Uh,
hi.
You know what, Zypher? Would you like to meet my boys?
Yeah.
Great, wonderful second here. Boys, come over here! And you will watch the 3 Minotaur children kind of barrel around the corner, kind of like the dog who slides across the floor. Because they don't have the best traction due to their hooves.
Pa, 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 pa.
Yeah, right. Hello, okay, no, boys. Okay, this is our new friend, Zypher. This is Fernando, Boris, and Nick. Say hello, boys.
I imagine they know some common by now.
Victor's been teaching them. Yeah, it's
Hello,
been months. He's
Zypher.
been teaching them how to teaching them manners and everything.
You just get a hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
I imagine she was like,
Hello. This is my sister Madeline.
They look confused. And then they just kind of shrug and accept it.
How does Zypher look?
she looks somewhere between 11 and 14.
Tix just kind of looks at her and scratches his head and is just like... raises his sign and points it at Victor. It's just, I don't know why humans take this long to mature. Given the fact that they're probably around the same age.
Victor looks over at Tick and goes, "You think they take a long time to mature? I didn't get my first facial hair until I was 40."
Okay.
You just shake his
matured at
head back and forth.
90.
Tick is the fastest matured. 13 and an adult.
Just be happy you have no grungs in the party.
I don't know.
After 1 year.
I think Cinder hit the first year and now she's an adult. I don't know about that one.
She was a woman previously. That didn't count.
It's so funny. So it takes almost like 100 years for an elf become an adult.
Well, yeah, but you reach like actual physical maturity before then. Still,
Depends
Yeah,
which rules you're taking. Original D&D, that wasn't the case. They changed that.
5e.
But in 3.5
Anyway.
and back, it was 100 years before they hit physical maturity.
Shit.
Anyways.
Anyways,
Anyways,
you guys head into the lab.
Close the door.
And seems private enough.
Right. What do you want to know?
Well, first off, I want to know about why you think they were so interested in these children. You said there was some sort of a ritual or something like that?
Yes. I want to make it clear that this information is not to leave this room.
That is fine. I
is.
can agree to that.
He looks over towards Tech.
that is fine. I can agree with that.
He's gonna make inside checks.
Forgot how that works when you incite a Kenku's imitation.
You look
Let me
into their
see.
beady eyes.
I mean, it's still a deception. It's
Oh,
just,
I guess yeah. No, it's just the imitations.
yeah.
But nah. Either way, though, God, I forgot his charisma's terrible. Shit. Okay. I think Wow. Okay. I nat 20'd it. I mean, not 18 technically, but you get what I mean.
No.
Tick very clearly is just like, he's telling the truth. He's not too happy about it. More so, if anything, he's just irritated that this is coming up in a conversation after an entire debacle about trust erupted like a month or so ago.
Yeah.
But like, he's just like, yes, let's get on with it. His impatience is bringing out the most truth you've seen in him.
Anyways, alright, very well. So, in Coralvania, the higher court has a ritual known as the Sankonar. It is a ritual in which that through the use of, well, I guess, through younger children, they're able to kind of instill upon them the ideology of whichever court, or mostly bad courts, or I wouldn't say bad courts, but the older ideologies of vampires. And that's, you know, probably all the rumors that you've heard. Essentially, there is a ritual in which they feast, and if they do not perform, if they are not able to handle everything, then, well, they end up becoming food for the other vampires. I believe that's how that goes, right, Nano?
Could I get that repeated one more time so I can make sure my brain
The
actually
big
fucking
beats of
absorbs
it?
the information this time?
Basically,
What was
if
that,
I
man?
understood it, oh sorry, the beats.
Go
Oh
on.
yeah, basically what the beats were, if Victor understood it properly, was they kidnap children, to turn them into vampires and brainwash them into being their type of people. In other words, they're indoctrinating children. If they don't live up to that indoctrination, they eat them.
So to keep up with continuity, Tick seemed like he was half paying attention. He definitely is hearing everything that is saying, but he's like, when's the interesting part coming? No, but he nods though at kind of the mention. He was looking at a wall, but he kind of looks back over at the two of them at hearing that.
Victor does not look happy. He's got a very sour face on his look. I see. Well, I can see why you don't want this getting out. Not exactly the best image for your country, is it? You know,
My country never had the best image, which is entirely the reason why my family is trying to change that from the inside out. My country... You'll probably have heard tales. A lot of other countries are somewhat reluctant, but they know that in conversations that Krovania could probably prove as valuable allies. Valuable trade. But essentially the old families, the Elder Council work in a much different mindset and keeps to their traditions. It's something that I wish to change, and that my father and my mother wishes to change.
very well. I'll accept your word on that one, Esteban. I have to admit, I wouldn't share this with Jube. The boy can be a bit emotional at times, and I could imagine him getting a little upset about such a thing. But as I said, between the three of us for the time being. Unless it becomes absolutely necessary to share the information to save the children. Agreed?
I highly doubt it will be very necessary to share that information to save the children, but I suppose yes.
Very good. The next thing is, have you ever heard of a demigod being in one of these situations?
Have I?
Nope.
No, I have not.
So,
No one's really even sure if a demigod can catch vampirism, actually.
which is the
There's
next thing you
there's never
Tried.
been one that was a vampire, at least in recorded history.
In recorded history, or at least from what I've read and heard, there's no evidence of that ever happening, or no evidence of there probably ever being attempts to try that. Although I'm not for sure.
Well, then the second question is an obvious one. Does demigod blood give a vampire anything special?
TM.
Well, how do I
Issue
put
for
this?
consumption.
Imagine you're driving in a car and you just hit the NOS button.
Ha. Well, I would assume that due to their blood, it's probably of a higher delicacy. Something much more refined, more potent than regular blood.
So we are pretty much safe to say that the child that was taken is in grave danger at this very moment.
It's possible that they're not... For a child like that to be taken, they're not going to throw her life away. That is something that I'm fairly certain about. If there's going to be taking the if they've taken the child to be used, it is probably to either see what they can do by infecting her with vampirism, and if not, then drinking her blood and using it over time. They will not be killing her. That is seemingly a waste. Why would you kill something that can provide you with that amount of blood, something rare, over...
So our two options for this poor child is either she is trying to be indoctrinated in some sort of, and let's be honest, a very dangerous creature, because I can only assume that a demigod vampire would be exceptionally dangerous, especially for such a group that would be willing to do these dark things. Probably bad for your parents as well, because I imagine they would use her as a sort of weapon.
Well, my family is working behind the scenes. So the rest of the court, they are just like any other family.
Very well. And then the best case scenario, and I use the term very loosely, is she's going to be fed on like a cattle until she is no longer capable of giving them the blood.
Possible. In any case, she will not be dying outright. We have time.
A bit, I suppose. Then very well, then, Esteban. I suppose I'm going to ask you a favor now.
Alright.
Would your parents be amenable to helping us discover who and why they took the little girl? And maybe giving us the directions so we can go rescue her?
If it doesn't jeopardize their plans or their current position, then possibly. But if it does, then that could prove an issue.
I don't have the authority to make this exactly official, but I will be saying the trade agreement on making better relations with us would be improved if that helps with your parents, if they would help us in this endeavor.
Oh, I know. However, they are trying to make very important changes. And if I know my father, and I'd like to think I know him very well, the life of this child does not hold more value over his goals.
Victor kind of looks at Esteban, nods. I suppose I can understand that in a cerebral level. I must admit, emotionally, it does upset me a bit. But the fact of the matter is, I want their help with this.
I could contact them and
Very
ask.
good.
That is what I can do. I cannot guarantee you whether or not they will help.
Well, you are not your father or your mother, so I suppose I cannot expect more than you for that. But I will make myself clear, ignoring this case of pleas will not go well with me. And I admit I am not the lord here. But I do have some says. I want this to work, but I don't believe in sacrificing people to make your goals work. At least not so casually.
It's less of not casually, it's more along the lines of he will weigh the options, and if it poses a jeopardizing risk to his plans, then he will likely not go through it. But that is a conversation for when we get around to it.
Very
We'll
well.
God.
Okay, very well. That seems to be in order then. In any case, I want to also make sure that we are able to take care of this situation. I'm sure if Jubei is aware of this, he will be more than happy to go in and make sure that his people are safe from such a careless way. I am surprised they go to other nations to steal the children to do this sort of thing, honestly.
I am very surprised as well. This was unheard of to me. Was it unheard of to me? Nano?
More or less, yeah. It's highly unusual for this to be the case. Because normally what happens is criminals and seedier people, they pay a tax to get into Krelvania, and that tax is a baby. Whether it's their baby or not, who knows? But a lot of criminals do go to Krelvania for a time to escape the law and figure out what to do, but they're very careful most of the time, because if they stay there any longer than a year, they're stuck.
The other question, I guess Victor would be aware of, would this be something that would be a tantamount of like a mini act of war or terrorism on a country? Just go around kidnapping citizens?
Not unless it was officially sanctioned by Elder Council, which it very well could not have been.
Yeah, you'd be hard pressed to prove that, because they could just outright deny it. B, technically speaking, this took place in your guys' country, not Osteria.
Yeah.
There is a difference now.
Yeah,
So you could say, yes, this was an act of war on our country, but you got like 100 people. What are you gonna do?
it's like if a random bandit just killed some noble or something in another country. You can't be like, oh, it's an act of war. It's just
True. But depending on the other way Victor's looking at it too, though, is this was not just some random bandit, and if his father's against helping them, that in Victor's mind would indicate this is if he's not willing to help them, these aren't rebels they're trying to find. This is someone in an authority of power. Otherwise, why would the father not help? Is Victor's thinking. It's kind of like terrorists exist, but when you say, oh, it's kind of like harboring the terrorist sort of thing in Victor's mind.
yeah, his father's not exactly a rebel. He's got a seat of power, but he's making sure specifically not to unravel all that.
Yeah. Also, you said specifically these were like the houses, so it sounds like it's an official. Like you said, random thug killing someone's not an act of war. If a senator went out and murdered somebody, though, that might be different.
It would be very different, yes. But yeah,
They already do that. They're just more subtle.
Yeah.
Is there any other questions?
I think for the time being, Victor's got what he needs to make to start making plans and decisions. Until your dad gives us info, Victor will just have to wait and see. I guess the last thing Victor would actually ask is one last question, so Esteban. Is there a way where you can get us into your country if necessary?
I figured S1 would probably have a way, right? He's committed their teleportation circle, because I assume their family would have one, to memory.
Even... I mean... Yes, you would, but there's still a tariff on that. They can go in without a tariff, but their time would be very limited, and they'd be very limited where they could go.
Where they could go, yeah.
They would effectively be guests of, your family.
The house, my family.
Yeah, and therefore they would have to stay at your family's estate.
And
if they get caught outside, that's
that is a huge risk, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, if they come in with some, some babies, give the babies over to the Crelvanian courts, they're like, all right.
That's not gonna sit well.
Anyone.
Not.
Anyone.
That's just how they are.
Stop. Get some help.
The two options are that, well,
you got some orc babies. You can just give them up.
I won't repeat myself again.
We are not going to give over babies to the Crevenian Council. That is not an option.
Yeah, that was never on the table, that is for certain.
Yes. In the other case, yes, my family could let you in as guests, but the issue is, if anything happens and you are caught, or anything that ties us back to the family, that poses a risk, and my father likely would not take that risk.
I see.
So, if we have to get in, we'll have to think of different ways.
Well, I will research the magic into doing it. For the time being, I think this is all we do. Tick, is there anything you wish to add?
Tick kind of just sits there, for a decent bit of time before kind of nodding to himself and then looking back over towards Estevan. And kind of like for a moment, his eyes kind of widen as he just lets out a gust of wind, just kind of a bit of a, that's a story. Before just kind of nodding and then shrugging.
You
Then
don't
shaking
even
his
know
head.
the half of it.
Tick kind of looks at him with a knowing look, and then nods like, "Yeah, you're right."
That's why it gives you a smile.
Admittedly, though, he kind of rolls his eyes after that. Rather that being more of a jest rather than a petty jab.
But
Victor looks back and goes, "Very well. Well, so for the time being, we will wait and see what we can gather for info. Estevan, if you would like to go, I think we are done with here."
very well. Eating a giant.
Yeah.
He'll
And-
flip his cape and make his way out.
As he leaves, Victor just closes the door behind him and turns over to Tick. "Well, what did you think of all that?"
He opens his mouth and you hear what seems to be some sort of test flight previously going horribly wrong and crashing. Explosions, maybe a few yelps, a Wilhelm scream
Nice.
before he closes his mouth again.
Yeah, I somewhat agree. But for any case, we will have to see what we can do. But I did have an idea there, Tick.
Tilts
We
his
got-
head.
Well, we need to get into that country quite possibly. Magic might not be the option, for they seem to have many defenses against magic. One sailing might be a bit difficult, sir, because they've got the posts. But, and he gives this wicked kind of gnomish smile, I wonder if a non-magical flying machine could sneak past their defenses.
He kind of just plays a little bit with his bottom lip, or bottom beak, I should say, and just again that menacing twinkle in his eye.
Oh, what are they talking about?
Flying machines.
Tick's goal is
Flying
to build
machine.
a non-magical plane,
Oh.
which would be meaning that if we could get it up and running, we could fly over the sky, and they would have no way of magically detecting it.
Yeah, radar's not quite been invented, so
Yeah,
Science
exactly.
is cool.
Your magic radar is worthless against our technology.
though Magitech does exist, so it would.
Magitech, yes, but I would assume that's like
Yeah.
detecting magic, but straight up no magic involved.
Yeah,
So-
what's been stopping people from just like air raiding Crovania?
Well, mostly how the Crovanians deal with war. I would go into the specifics, but we might be here all night.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
fair
we're not
enough.
too worried about it. Yeah, it was just a thought I had. That'd be kind of funny. Victor and Tick in like a flying machine, flying over like bombers.
So is that the end of the Victor Tick convo?
Yeah, I guess so. Unless Tick had something to add.
Pretty much nothing to add particularly. Tick, you
Oh.
really? Anyway.
Okay.
I guess the long and short of how the Crovanians deal with war is you attack them, okay. You better kill every single one of them because they will infiltrate your country and pretty much parade your corpses around once they're done with you. And then, of course, absorb your land into theirs, if possible.
Don't
No
attack.
battle, only war.
There was Nikki.
Okay, so if that's the end of the conversation, Ayla will slip out of the room, and she's gonna go.
How did you sneak into the knew we were there? I would like to know how Ayla knew we were even there. Unless you've been hiding on us the whole time.
I've been hiding on you the whole time.
Oh,
Her
weird.
stealth beat all your passives.
I mean, not surprised.
Did she roll a stealth to leave the room that's still closed? Because the door is closed.
She slipped out when you guys let Esteban out.
Okay, so you didn't hear that last part of the conversation.
No.
Yeah,
Would Esteban have noticed?
with his passive, no.
No.
But she is actually gonna run on up anyway, as he's making his way down the hall. Purposely kind of putting more weight into her footsteps now to kind of announce her presence, and then kind of slow down to a more of a walk when she's off to his side, and kind of give him a glance and just say,
Sorry.
For?
Makes a bit of a face. I got a little worried when I saw the three of you going off, so I sort of it wasn't just you three.
You eavesdropped.
Sorry. I was worried.
It's fine. Worried for what? You thought they were going to attack me?
Oh, no. Just
flails hands around in the air.
I see. You thought I was going to tell them.
No. I trust you. No. More just I was worried they might put pressure for you to speak on stuff, and figured if need be I could make some sort of distraction.
No. If they were to put... we've already discussed the situation, and discussing it more wouldn't do anything. I'm sure they know that by now. Regardless, well, I guess you heard everything about my country. Well, not everything, but everything I said to them.
Sorry again about that.
No, it's fine. What is your opinion?
It's terrible for sure. It's a little bit of a complicated situation to really say what the right thing to do is.
A lot of things are.
Yeah. They really are. I kinda got a little worried for a sec because, my group used to do something a little similar, though of course for different reasons, but, it's not the first time I've heard of such a situation.
Well, unfortunately, things are just very difficult.
Gives a nod at that.
Do you...
Go on.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, go on.
No,
don't
that
want
really, it's you. You can go first.
I forgot what I was going to say. Go on.
Opens mouth, closes it, looks forward as she kind of thinks, I kind of forgot what I was going to say too, and then she kind of thinks it over for a bit.
I know what you said in there, but, how are you thinking of handling the situation?
With Jade or with Crovinia?
Covania.
There is a lot of things that one of the reasons why I'm here is I'm looking for answers and how best to find more outsider help. Wow. Rude.
She nods her head at that.
Actually, I was, sort of thinking, I mean, being here is good and all. I mean, information passes through on occasion that can be helpful to certain things, but I've been thinking of maybe going to travel with the others. I mean, with everywhere that they're going and the people they're speaking to, they're much more involved with all different areas of contact and coming across all different sorts of people, I feel like a lot more helpful information can be found out there.
I've been thinking about that as well. When they get back, I think we should probably bring it up with them. I haven't really gathered much information. He's just sitting around here. I've managed the politics to a certain degree, but that is not what I am here for. This is not my country's politics to handle.
Winces and nods her head.
I understand. I'm sort of feel similar with
Like, try to find the right word and then kind of puts up air quotes.
listening in on people. You can really only get so much information that way.
Indeed.
She glances back in the direction of the room that the three of them had been talking with a bit of a worried glance, but then looks forward again.
I think you could probably use the time away from this place.
Huh?
I think you could probably use some time away from this
Oh,
place.
no, I heard that, but I mean, what do you mean?
It's just a new, refreshing change of pace. Away from other people.
Kind of nervously fiddles with her hair at that and nods her head, understanding of what's being said without being said.
What about yourself, though, with traveling? Well, I guess since you'll be coming along with me with the others, will you be all right with that? I mean,
I will
you
need
didn't
to
seem to
get.
enjoy camping that much.
I will need to get a very good tent. I will need to buy a lot of cleaning supplies. I will need to ask who in the party has prestidigitation. Probably several sets of clothes. A bunch of other things. I will need to prepare.
How big of a tent? How big of a tent?
Questionable.
She like looks at the. Oh my god. She looks at the hallway that they're standing in, kind of outstretches her arms with a questioning look.
I assume a regular. We'll see. I don't know what type of tent they can provide, but
I was about to say, I don't think I've seen you do things regularly before.
no,
that was
I
not meant to come off like an insult.
I didn't take it that way.
Oh, okay, good. I'll see if I can find help to find things that might make things more comfortable.
Very well.
Alright.
And she clasps her hands together and kind of gives like this tiny little bow, tiny mock bow, really, of what she's learned from Jubei.
Well then, I'm gonna get started on work. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Ada.
She'll rush off. And while rushing off, like without her paying attention to it, her footsteps go back to just being like invisible sounding.
He'll smile into himself as he watches her rush off and make his way to the library. And probably no, actually, he'll make his way to his room. Probably sending to his father.
Okay then. We'll
Oh, they went over.
Secret
Yeah, I got
rooms.
very confused for a second there. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. Ayla's sneaking in and listening. That literally there was anything said that I was just like, did she catch
y'all
the
are
comment of using?
rude.
That's
I'm
fine.
unmuting to say, "Shut up, Nano."
We'll be screwed because we're
Shut up,
using our wizard and
Nano.
replacing him with a bard.
What you got against bards, man?
Everything. What isn't there to be against bards, huh?
I'm just swapping DPS for more DPS.
Listen,
Understood.
she just slapped the fireballs around. Sure, you don't have the AoEs, but just don't handle AoE things.
Understood.
Hey, no, actually, you listen. I've got the deck that is very unreliable, 75% of the time. So, I mean, maybe I can throw a fireball out. Who knows?
I feel like it's more than 75% of the time. I'm just gonna be honest here.
Flicks at cards. Let's see.
You've like pulled one card.
At the end of battle.
I got
Yeah.
nothing. I got nothing. Don't worry about it. Anyways, continue on.
All right.
That was a short conversation with Dad.
It was.
It
Plotting.
will be determined. It meaning all of your demises
I knew it.
with the vampire invasion.
It's unbelievable.
I'm back. Sorry.
Hey.
Judah, can you tell me, what did you mean by that? Right after Nano set up to come here.
Huh?
They are both bottoms?
Oh.
Oh. It was
That's
was
privileged
Ayla and
information.
it was Ayla and Esteban being, as Crystal had said, cringe.
Oh, I thought we already knew that.
Love you.
Did
I'm
that really
hurt.
need to be justified?
You love to
for
see it.
response?
I'm
Oh,
hurt.
no.
Betrayal?
That information is privy to those who are here.
Exactly.
Only
Well,
here
just now.
people.
And those
Only
who
here
listen to the
people
recording.
understand.
All right.
That's why I wasn't there though, because I wasn't needed for that, especially. Plus, I don't even want to see that, so. I guess I didn't miss nothing. I guess I didn't miss anything.
Wow.
Wow.
I will be toxic.
I don't want to listen to your father's interactions. I'm leaving.
Sure, bye.
Exactly.
Before we get to
Oops.
that, Percy and Kyra.
Hi.
Hi.
You two are outside the castle.
You're being angry boys.
What are you
Yes.
saying?
I mean, Kyra can talk to him. Percy is staying rather
Yeah.
silent. He's not
Kyra-
dealing with any of this news well.
Kyra's just mad right now. She doesn't want to say anything, and she knows that she doesn't need to say anything because it's the same air between them, where it's like they both understand how each other feels in the moment, and so there's no words that need to be said.
Okay. As you guys are sitting amongst yourselves, I should say, just kind of sulking, brooding, being generally angry, chill jumps, however you wish to state it. You both feel a large shadow cast upon you.
Ah.
Do you wish to look?
Sure.
Okay.
You see this rather tall man standing behind you, very muscular, very well built. His long red hair is completely shaven on one side, and you see this intricate pattern of blue runic tattoos on the side of his head. This fiery red beard as he kind of looks at the two of you. There's the lord of this keep, boy.
He kind of looks up at him and then slowly kind of looks back down and shrugs.
I'd point to the giant-looking keep right next to him.
That one in specific.
Sulking gets you nowhere, he says as he starts to walk off.
I guess you're blind as you are old, man.
He just chuckles and moves along towards the keep. Who's standing outside the keep at this point? Anybody in particular?
I don't think
Cypher.
anyone knows.
I wanna-
Wolfie,
wanna see.
maybe.
He's not
I
going
wanna
to
see-
interact with Wolfie.
I low-key want to say Tick.
This will have happened after that conversation, by the way.
No, I guess, yeah, that would make sense. Victor and Tick would have left the lab then at that point, but
I imagine Percy and Kyra probably are sulking for quite a bit.
yeah.
Oh, definitely. If Cass finished her thing, she'd want to go out and let the dragon walk around for a little bit and just hang out with him, I guess.
Victor probably
just
would have headed out to look after the kids too, concerned
For you
about everything
guys
happening,
to
but yeah.
see, this is the man.
He's looking for Ragnar.
Could be.
Or maybe we're getting Halani backstory.
Wait! Yes!
Screaming.
So you guys see this large, 8-foot tall man. He seems to be kind of half Goliath of sorts. As he just walks towards the keep, he's got this massive God of War type axe just strapped to his back. These 3 little blue runes glow on the edge of the axe as there's this permafrost that just goes from one edge to the other on the bladed end. As he walks up to the castle doors and just kind of looks at the architecture, a little taken by it. As he kind of marches around and looks around the outside.
Imagine as Tick and Victor are like walking towards the front door, and Victor just turns and Tick goes, "You know what? I think if we get the right aerodynamic drift, you could really get uplift with it. And you know, have you ever heard of the principle of lifting force from a propeller of spinning speeds?"
Tick kind of nods at that, but then he kind of he plays around with the idea and like spins his bird around, but he kind of moves his hand around, indicating torque, and kind of shrugs.
As you guys are just in this like in-depth discussion, make me a quick perception check.
Oh goody, something Victor's not the best at. Nope.
Cypher has been following Victor around, so Cypher is also there.
No. Cypher's just attached to Victor's hand right now.
Perception check. Understood.
Which location?
Okay.
Which location is Estevan's window? I think I remember it's facing like to the side.
It is. It's facing towards the wooded areas.
Come on, Tick, you're our last hope.
Oh, well.
Wait, Cass is also outside too. She's playing with Dragon and Wolfie at the same time.
That doesn't help them. As you guys are in this in-depth discussion, Victor, you just hit this pillar of a person. You don't hit him, but you just like walk into his leg.
Sorry, sir, my friend. Oh, wow. Looks up. Oh, you're a big one, aren't you?
He looks down at you. Are you the Lord?
Well, not exactly. The Lord is out at the castle at the moment. I was the bit of the assistance around here, though.
He crosses his arms and just kind of looks at you. I see.
Did you have something you want to speak with the Lord about?
Tell me. Ragnar with the Lord?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
The pup's mother is asking for him.
Looks a little sideways towards Tick. He's like, what the fuck is she talking about?
Tick just kind of looks over back towards it, Victor, and just kind of Squints. Dens.
So the mother's looking. What? You're looking. So Ragnar's mother's looking for him.
Yes. But I have words for the Lord as well.
Ah, yeah, well, I suppose he'll be back any day now if you want to stick around.
I think I will do just that. The architecture here is interesting.
Oh yeah, find good stonework. You should see the basement.
He kind of looks at you a moment and isn't sure if you're like hitting on him or not. He just kind of, I'll take your word for it.
Well, you can come in.
Kind of sits here, just entirely blasé to the inner workings of humanoids of that type.
Well, if you want to go in, I suppose we can get stuff ready and make some cooking. Oh, there you are, Zypher. Wow, you're sticking right by me, aren't you?
Well, you said you would help me with my sister.
Oh, yeah, of course. If you would like to do that right away, kind of adjust his glasses, I suppose I could take a look into that for you.
As I guess Victor walks Cypher away, Tick just stares at the guy for a bit of time, looks over at the bird on his shoulder, taps a little bit, and the bird flits over and just proceeds to spray him with the cleaning salve. Head to toe, before kind of nodding, patting on his, calf, and then walking by.
Fucking Victor right there. Okay.
He now smells like fresh linens.
So with that, we will go ahead and here it is. A few days pass. Just a few. I'd say about 3. 3 days pass, and the rest of the party, with all their wards in tow, arrive. I have to move everybody over in just a minute.
How long have we been gone?
About a
couple
month.
Weeks, a month, yeah, at least, yeah.
Quentin just looks upon the area and just takes a deep breath.
I've missed this place.
I think the trees that were fireballs upon, well, I think after the tournament are growing back now. He looks upon the air.
Yeah, I might have lightning bolted a few of them. I feel really bad. I didn't need to do that, but you know.
Quentin smiles very happily at the lot of you all, and it's just like,
Do not fret. For those trees, those burned parts will turn into soil, allowing for the trees to flourish anew.
That is one way to definitely look at it, Quentin.
Davi just has this look on her face of like, they're fucking plants, who cares?
As Jupe walks forward, I suppose, Empress, this is our keep. I suppose we should introduce you to it.
I've heard of this keep.
It was apparently abandoned. We had taken residence here. But obviously, this home is yours to share as you wish. Victor, is gonna. Jubei just looks around and goes, "Is it just me, or there seem to be more people here than normal?"
I think Esteban would have sending out to the party to try and gauge when they would probably arrive, and he'd
yeah.
be ready.
Probably give us some of the info of what's happened.
Yeah, probably.
Tick has kept his bird out for a decent amount of time, so I'd say he's probably one of the first ones to greet you. Probably bringing Victor along. The party.
Jube! Welcome back. We have kept the castle in working condition.
I see that, Esteban. I appreciate your effort. Things have been good. Empress, this is one of my... looks over at Esteban and kind of gives a friend, Esteban. He was helping take care of the castle while we were gone.
Ah, pleasure to meet you.
Empress, I've heard a lot of things about you.
Oh?
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Esteban Viscardi von Lamont Octavian Rebellion II. But you can call me Esteban.
Oh,
Cookie.
well.
Tick behind him, just, and you can call me Esteban.
Or SD, as I call him.
She kind of looks at each of you, and I am, well, was Empress, no longer. Octavia Estelise.
Ah. And it's most unfortunate to hear that you've lost your title.
Yes, well, coups tend to do that, don't they?
Indeed. Perhaps in time
go ahead.
we can change that and get your title.
Her eyes fall on Victor a moment.
Oh, hello there, Empress. Long time no see. She's just waving at her.
Victor, I'm glad to see that you made it out of the city.
Oh yeah, definitely did that. It was a good time and all that. Made some good friends. I'm glad to see that Jube was able to get you back while she is safe and sound. He's a good boy, ain't he?
That's very capable.
As fun
Also,
as the arrow shot through his heart. And it's
What did
just
I
like, my chance to talk to the Emperor.
Also, with all the commotion, Ayla comes outside as well.
She just walks out in front. How's it going?
Octavia looks over at Ayla. Oh, Ayla, you made it too.
It's good to see that you're doing well.
Well, I suppose.
And gives a bit of a sympathetic smile at that.
Also, SD, Victor, Ayla, Cass, this is my dad. Gestures over.
You just see the grumpiest looking person right now.
Hello.
He's scrutinizingly looking at the place. Where are your guards?
You were looking at half of them there as he looks over at Victor.
At the mention of Everin greeting everyone to his dad, Quentin turns over a second time and waves back at the man. Before looking over towards Tick, who kind of walks past him. He does a little wave towards him. Tick does not acknowledge him and proceeds to walk directly towards Ragnar.
Ragnar looks down.
And for verbatim, he just repeats the whole wolf's pup thing and then shrugs.
Ragnar, if he was drinking something, he would have spit it out right there. Those words exactly, huh?
I think with Tick, you can pretty much guarantee that they were the exact words used, yes.
That's quite embarrassing. I hope none of you would ever learn of such name, but okay then.
Victor looks over. I will say Jubei looks over and goes, not to be rude or anything, but who is this small child running around and basically hanging off of Cinder?
There is one of you small ones looking at me weirdly. Hello.
Hello,
Victor's-
big fire lady.
In Victor's voice, Tick will explain to Jubei the whole little sister situation that is going on.
Oh, I think Esteban mentioned something about that over his messages. That is very different. Zypher was your name, what is not?
Yeah.
It is a
What do I
pleasure
do
to...
with it?
Toss it into the water.
It's very bad.
Quentin will turn around and just say,
You will do no such thing. Hi, my name is Quentin. What's your name?
My name is Cypher.
Nice to meet you.
And he lends out an amicable hand for shaking.
Evan will like wander over and just
She
extend
like
her
kind of
hand.
instead of shaking his hand, she kind of like slaps it like a sideways high five.
You think that would be like the unintended side effect, but his smile just grows wider. You can tell he hasn't received a lot of high fives in his youth, so like this is like a rite of passage that happens just now. As he
Kids now.
exactly, and he just kind of oh yeah, I guess actually at that, Tick would kind of note and repeating the phrase "kids" and whatnot that everybody has been kind of saying. He kind of repeats a few of the voices of Kyra and Percy, and kind of scratches a little bit at the side of his head and kind of beckons for Jubei.
Yes, I was praised of the horrible situation that was occurring. I suppose I should meet these children since they are living under our roof and all.
Looking towards the group, Davia points at Zypher with this just like arched brow and is just like, are we really keeping that?
Well, apparently she's very handy with a fireball from what I hear.
Oh, so she is useful. That's good.
I look over to Zypher and I like extend my hand and like do a little bit of static electricity and kind of just show her it.
Oh, pretty.
We will be friends right now, friends.
Friends, more friends. See, Madeline, I can make friends.
Everyone's new little sister.
I was thinking that. I was just like, oh no, the worst thing just happened.
Everyone is like ecstatic right now.
Davia is pinching the bridge of her nose.
Jubei is just going, great, now I have to dodge lightning bolts and fireballs.
He was already doing that.
I know.
He just raises his finger and says,
Aren't you already doing that?
Just wait till you have to dodge disintegrations.
Actually, for Jubei, that's easy. Because
So this
Shield
is kinda-
Master lets me add my Shield AC to my deck save.
Disintegration's con.
It's deck save.
No, disintegration?
It's a deck save.
No, I thought it was con.
It's
It's
a deck
deck.
save. I know it's a deck save because I killed John's character with it.
Oh,
Remember?
Oof.
Cinder's just gonna look back at Davia and then back at Twin.
Am I still throwing it in the water or not?
No. Bet. We don't do that to friends, okay?
Davia leans in to whisper to Cinder. It's just like, you can just do that later.
can Quentin hear this?
Not a perception check.
Yeah.
Is it stealth versus perception?
Are you saying that she would ever remove that fucking sly face on her as she leans down?
I
to
would
go
say
to-
deception.
Deception? Ooh, okay.
Interesting.
Oh, damn it.
Oof.
That doesn't even beat my fucking passive perception, my friend.
It beats mine by 1.
I mean, do I
Doesn't mean
insight
Jubei's.
that? Because I mean, technically that would also be a passive insight, but or wouldn't. But what do?
Go ahead. Also, go ahead and roll it.
All right.
Roll me a perception.
Hey.
Our low sevens.
Quentin just kind of like tilts his head and is just,
Navia, why are you so insistent on throwing this child into a body of water?
Because it would be hilarious.
But what if she cannot swim?
Then it would be even more funny.
If it's just for humor, then I don't think that's very useful. I will refrain.
Rolls her eyes.
Quentin kind of tilts his head as if he's kind of seeing Davia in a new light. And then nods to himself and begins to walk in and away.
A new light? She's always been this bad.
Question, Nano.
Yes.
Has I told dear old father what happened at all or no?
Did you want to tell him over the journey or when you got here?
When we got here? Okay, because I need to have a long conversation with him.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, Nano, should I make
Yes?
that wisdom save again for that spear?
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd have to make multiple, wouldn't you?
No, it's once per week.
Oh, it's one per week.
The spear?
Nope. Jesus.
Yikes.
Natty one.
Yeah, your hands are little frostbite action going on. It's not gonna affect you in any way, but
I don't think I am very capable with this item at the moment.
Oh boy.
but
Also, Ayla will look towards Everin, kind of giving her a small smile, and is just like,
It's good that you got to meet your father.
Ayla! Dimension door is right up next to her. Hugs
Oh,
her.
dear.
she just kind of stands there for a moment. She's just like, this is the first positive interaction I've had in such a long time, other than Esteban.
Can I say that because Everin is allowed to take a person with her in the dimension door, Quentin also goes.
Oh yeah, she would have held the door open and just like immediately jumps in, and he could have jumped in right with her.
So now being hugged by these two individuals, again, first positive interaction from someone other than Esteban forever. Her lip kind of wobbles a bit, like she's gonna tear up.
I would say also though, Jube would walk up to Ayla and just put a hand on her shoulders. I can see you have you been doing well, Ayla? Not working too hard, have you?
I'm doing alright now.
Like what? What's wrong?
I'm alright.
No, I don't believe you are.
Oh dear, this is embarrassing.
She like starts fanning her face because she realized she started to tear up.
If you
Quentin
say
will
so.
just kind of reach and kind of knock over a few tears with a finger, and it's just,
That is not embarrassing. These are simply emotions.
That's okay. We missed you a lot.
Yeah, I've missed you both as well.
She'll return the hug to both of them.
Well, I'm glad you are at least happy to see us, Ayla. I'm sorry that things have been so hectic while we have been gone. I believe there are many new children here at the keep.
Yeah, there was actually something I wanted to bring up with each of you. Well, actually, Esteban as well.
What?
Can I see that at the hug, Tick had just turned around and is just kind of side-eyeing Ayla. Where? That being... What?
Kind of stiffens a little under the eyes, so like avoids eye contact instead looking towards the other still, and is just like...
The dichotomy of having a character that loves and hates Ayla is so fucking hilarious to me.
I've been doing a bit of thinking, and if it's alright, I would like to join your travels.
Oh, you wish to accompany us the next time we head out?
Yeah, you can join us.
Quentin grows a decently large smile after. For a period of time, he was actually rather straight-faced, but he just it's just
Is that you are being truthful? This is something that is happening.
Yes.
Why? What good news. I'm glad you'll be able to join us.
It takes everything in her power not to physically keel over at people wanting her around.
I'm sure you would be.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sure you joining us, Ella, will be a great benefit to us all.
Get to hang out. We can have like tea together. Oh my god, it'll be so amazing.
Bigelow rolls over, tries not to cry, cries a lot.
Exactly.
I will also be accompanying you all.
Oh.
What? Ew. Just kidding. I love you. You can join us.
It would be very good to have you with us, Esteban. It should be an interesting moment to have you accompany with us. I'm sure your skills will be very useful for us.
As you guys are talking, Tommen walks up. His hands are just kind of behind his head, like that anime pro tag kind of feel. He just kind of walks up. Huh. Nice digs.
Where digs?
Quentin just turns around and it's just,
If in the event that you are talking about this particular estate, I agree.
Yes.
Well, in any case, Tommen, we have a captain of the guard you can go into if you wish to be trained by to make yourself known to join the guard. I believe you said you were interested.
I look over to Jubei like, are you sure?
Jubei looks at him. In the end, he said he was interested in assisting. I suppose it's one way to work it. Besides, I'm sure. What was the name of our captain? You don't have the names of the tokens, so I can't remember them all.
Rannick. Rannick. Sorry.
Rennick. He's the captain. I'm sure he will be able to whip him into shape.
Maybe.
Yeah, we all need a long talk about what happened and what's going to happen and stuff like that. And, Jubei, I need your help talking with, my father about what happened because he has no idea what's been going on because he's been gone this entire time. So, yeah.
Of course, Everett, we can discuss these. I would also like to see these children, though, that I heard about. I want to make sure they are doing well. I heard their friend was taken. Victor has apparently said that we would be doing our best to assist him.
Yes, there is a lot of things I believe that we've discussed that we might need to look into. You told me there was a dragon also about a few days' journey from here. Or
Yes,
something or other.
about like that, yes. By the way, Victor will walk up to Jubei and goes, by the way, Jubei, did you get what I asked for? And Jubei will turn and goes, oh, yes, and he will hand him the scroll of sending. Oh, yes, this is perfect! And Victor will go put that in his spell book.
Okay.
Oh, I can also make spell scrolls as cast and give them to, Victor.
Yep,
Just in case.
I think we need an update on our quest guide.
I will be updating that later.
Alright. But, yeah, let's go meet the kids first. Can I join?
Of course. I'm sure you would be happy to meet you as well.
Precisely.
Yes, continue. You're coming with us too.
Is Zypher still, like, in awe of Cinder?
Yeah, Zypher will be following Cinder around now.
She would have, like, kept walking forward and then stop as she kind of hears the footsteps.
Can I help you?
Unless you can help me with my sister, I don't know.
What happened with your sister?
Pushing a doll out in front of her. Well, she is in my doll.
Why don't you just take her out?
Victor wanders over.
I can't.
Would you like me to assist in taking her out?
If you could.
Oh no.
Victor walks over to say, "Yeah, Cinder, it's a bit more nuanced than that. It's a bit like you and your situation, yeah?"
Ripping it apart will not suffice then.
No, that would not do anything but make a girl very sad, I believe.
Dami internally to herself was just like, make me happy.
But in any case...
I've not yet considered.
Zypher, you'll be happy to know that Cinder here's a smarty pants like myself and will be able to assist us in hopefully trying to figure out how to help your sister from the doll.
Yay for Big Fire Lady!
I don't know how to respond to this. Victor,
What?
what is the best course of action to respond to this child making loud noises in front of me?
You turn to her and say, "Thank you, are very welcome, dearie."
She, like, turns and, like, leans a little bit close. You are very welcome, dearie.
This is like the Terminator trying to learn how to be a human.
I mean, yeah.
Dami is very tempted to tell Cinder if they say that to you, just shoot them, but she's like, nah, Cinder will probably actually do that.
There's no probably involved.
That's why she stopped herself, barely.
Well, I guess we can help you with your situation then.
Yeah, why don't you stick around for a bit, Cinder, and help out? I'm sure that we have a lot of really difficult problems that I think the Brain Trust should stick around and solve together. And you are always one of the big brains, yeah?
I was thinking about sticking around anyways. I had some information that I need to research about my current situation.
Well, there we go. We all work together and we all do the best together, yeah? For where one brain cannot work, when two brains cannot work, when even 3 or 4 cannot work, 5 brains, that's the party does. That is the full house, yeah?
Cass looks over in the general direction, feeling a bit sad for a moment, but then is like, oh wait, I think I'm included in this. Has
You're
a
one of the
small smile.
You're one of the 5. He counted out the big brains.
I think a processing unit can count for more than at least 10 brains.
Yeah, sure. That works too. In any case, Zypher, if you would be so kind, we could go and start looking with your dolly and see what we can find out, yeah?
Zypher's eyes are like glued to like Cinder's core, and then you mention her sister, and she like just like her entire being just like kind of like shifts and like looks at you and is like, yes.
Very good. Well, let us head to the research lab while Juba gets everybody else cut up.
Cass is wandering over to and is ready to help as well.
Yeah, he looks over at Cass and goes, Cass, would you be so kind as to join us in this endeavor?
Already walked over.
Oh, he looks over at his spot. Oh, may I walk you to the lab? He says, kind of like, you know how they do the gallantly arm thing despite the fact he's at like your waistline?
Sure. Thank you. Just awkwardly takes his hand. Or arm.
And that
a new ship is sailed.
Wolfie is just licking Zypher and is just like wandering next to her, very pleased.
Are you holding hands so you don't get
Zypher
lost?
is still just following Cinder.
I'll probably
you
pass out as I walk.
Are you holding hands so you don't get lost?
She has
I
Victor.
I can fall asleep at any moment. So I usually like staying near someone so I don't fall on my face, which I have done a lot.
Victor looks over. Yes, Cinda. I ain't being just support. And he just mutters like, he does the whisper spell towards Cinder. Don't close this for me.
She's gonna speak out loud. What am I blowing for you?
Oh boy.
Cass is still confused, but yet is not understanding. But it's like, okay, this is fine.
Good God. Anyway, moving on. What is the rest of the party doing now?
We meet kitties.
Yes, the childrumps.
Yes, and then we go talk to Dad.
I don't know why it just hit me, but I'm like, oh yeah, I have 2 characters.
Yeah, you're Helani to do something. Let's go.
Technically, you have 3.
Technically, I have 3, but
But anyway, where is Percy and Kyra at this point? It's been a few days.
By the way,
You're
there's
gonna
one
get
thing.
muted, by the way.
There's one thing I'd like to say though
Damn.
for Reveline's cake. If Reveline's all about magic and learning magic, Victor would have probably noticed that in these few days, and if she was interested, he would start teaching her.
yes, she would be interested.
Victor would have started teaching Reveline magic.
Kyra would be hanging around near the beach or something like that, kind of just enjoying it as well as being in the forest and not. Still playing some pranks on the townspeople, but doing them a lot less frequently now, but just making sure that Percy's okay. That's like the #1 goal. How's Percy doing?
He.
Depressed over Exalina.
Oh yeah, totally. Exalina, you know,
Best waifu, honestly. Can't believe we lost.
and Gemma, and every single other fucking person that he lost that day.
Oh, that reminds me, you guys did find something in the battlefield. Or not the battlefield, but on the way to the town.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
There was the fucked up half plate, but
Exalina's
Oh yeah, the half plate. Wait,
there was something else
when?
out there.
because I remember that we were like, oh yes, we need to give this to Quentin so he stops being a squishy bastard.
Somebody else
Half-plate's
took a
mine.
half plate.
It is Cass's now. Sorry.
Sad face.
There was also the long sword that belonged to a certain half-orc.
I also took. Cass
As
took
well as-
everything.
Cass wasn't there for that. Or no, Cass was there
Just
for
let
that one,
Nano
yeah.
say what he wants to say.
Sorry.
As I say, as well as one of his tusks.
Ah,
That was
You
what
re-
was left.
I really wish you didn't allow Nana to say what he was going to say.
Does Jubei see Percy kind of sitting by himself?
Yeah, he's just. Yeah, he's very much just been finding a place to sit. Probably every once in a while, like, of course, Kira would be taking care of him more or less, but he would just kind of find a spot to sit and then kind of sit there. He's just extremely dejected.
Because Jubei would look at everyone else being apprised of what happened and ask them to wait behind for a minute because he would like to approach him by himself. Because he relates to this kid way too much already.
Will he do it when Kyra's there or when she's away?
I mean, if he's it just depends on the situation. If Kyra was there at the moment, or if he was by himself, it's a 50-50 coin toss, I guess.
Want to do it, or would you rather have either or, Judah?
I mean, frankly, depending on the actual conversation, Jubei could honestly just have him aside. But I do think that, just thinking about it objectively, it'd probably be best if Kyra. I don't know. I guess it's up to you because I think, frankly, Jubei could just as easily drag him to the side if he really needed to.
Let's do a coin flip. 1 for Kyra's there, 2 for Kyra's not there.
Sounds good to
Okay.
me.
She's there.
Well, shit.
She's not there or there? I couldn't hear.
No,
She's not.
She is not there.
Okay, so Jubei will see him sitting by himself. And what is he doing at this exact moment then, right now, Judah?
So he's somewhere inside, right? So probably if there's any place to sit, he would just be slumped against there. If there is not, he is slumped against the wall on the floor, and he is just silent.
Jubei would see Percy, hearing the description of the boy and knowing what's been going on, will just, obviously not silently, being a full plate male, but just kind of solemnly walk up next to the kid and kind of sit down next to him. And then, if he notices, it's like, I believe your name is Percy, is it not?
He does not answer, but he does nod.
I heard about what happened to you and your friends. Jubei kind of sighs but looks back up. It is a difficult thing. And Jubei kind of looks over at the kid and goes, "One I know very well." Is Percy by any chance have holding the tusk of the dead or of the half orc? Like, is Percy holding anything?
To be honest, I mean, wait, because he had quite a few things, likely from his friends and whatnot. So I don't think it would be. You know what? He probably would actually still have. He'd probably still have that wooden sword.
Oh God.
Pain. That he's just been holding and just lying inside of his hand, and he probably does have. Correct me if I'm wrong, but with Kyra, nah, that'll happen later. Never mind. But no, definitely he would probably be holding the tusk and the other, or if anything, probably you know what? You know fucking what? How about we make this a little bit more painful and say the feather from Jade's hat?
Oh God. Yeah. You have been through a difficult time, have you not, boy?
He just... He seems quite dejected, yes, but kind of at that, a little buckle of his body kind of happens before, after staring at the ground, not really paying you much mind, or looking at you, he eventually, his eyes kind of trail over to the side, meeting your eyes yet.
Jubei looks over at him and you're gonna see him reach behind his head and kind of untie something as his hair goes loose as he holds the red ribbon in his hand.
Oh God, it's passing on the mantle.
Not quite.
Is it?
He will look over at Percy with the ribbon in his hand. Looks over at Percy, goes, and looks over and sees the tusk and the feather. It is important to remember those that we've lost, my friend, little one. It's important to remember them. as he looks down, and if Percy bothered to look, so he can see kind of a pain and sad look in Jubei's eyes. He looks down at his ribbon.
Yeah, actually, at the ribbon, that's what would have caused him. At first, he was more or less looking at his torso and down, but then he finally looks up, and he just kind of asks, "Are you a knight?"
I am very similar to a knight. I guess samurai is still technically. I guess I'm from an order of mystical work, fight warriors from my homeland. Our job was to protect the innocent from demons and creatures of darkness. We were destined to keep our citizens and friends safe, to fight and do everything we could to protect them. But no matter how hard one tries, you will not always save them all. And he looks at the kid and turns and goes, "This is rude of me. My name is Jubei Mitamatsu, the quote-unquote lord of this castle."
My big brother was a lot like you. He fought to protect others too.
He was a very noble man, I take it. And he looks over at Percy with a smile and goes, "And I'm sure nothing would have made him happier that he was able to protect you and your friends, the ones he could in the end."
He doesn't quite say anything, but kind of looking up at you, very quickly, or very slowly, his face just kind of contorts more and more into what is akin to a sob, and he just kind of looks back down at his lap.
As the kid does that, Jubei puts a hand on his shoulder. "No, I don't mind telling you this, Percy, but I too have lost those closest to me. There's no shame in tears," he says with a smile. And you can actually see there's a bit of a hint of tears even in Jubei's eyes as he's looking over at the kid. "I know the situation you are in, and I know Bicta has already promised you this, but as the Lord, I wish to double assert this. If we can help your friend Jade, I promise you we will do everything we can to do so." And Jubei can't help but think about, "If you so choose, Percy," he says with a smile, "if you wish to learn something from this, I intend to help you in any way I can."
He very much seems to be fighting the sobs. Kind of reaching up both of his wrists to kind of, and the palms of his hands just kind of wipe away at all that he can. I don't want to be sad. I have to remain hopeful, right? Jeep was always really good at hide and seek. Maybe she's running away from them right now.
Maybe. There is always hope, Percy. Keep it in you, and it'll help you keep strong.
He his eyebrows furrow a little bit at that as he kind of looks back over towards, and it's just...
It hurts.
Junpei looks at the kid with his arm and kind of takes a deep breath. I know it does, Percy, but... And he'll just kind of look outside and kind of goes, this may be hard for you to believe, but though the pain will never go fully away, it does lessen over time. It does get better. And you have friends here who will help you get better with it. I want you to think of us as your friends as well, Percy.
Right. The only way I can describe it very much is just small human dealing with big emotions. His face seems to change every 10 seconds or so between trying to hold in emotion to being overcome with emotion to trying to focus on what Jubei is saying. He very much doesn't seem to know what to do with himself right now, and he's kind of put the feather on his lap and just kind of is fiddling around with his hand. Although you probably notice is that the grip on the sword never quite leaves.
Jubei looks down at the sword and says, if you want to, Percy, I could teach you how to use that.
Really?
Yeah, really. I will teach you my ways if you would like. You don't want to feel sad and pained again. Sometimes the best way to do it is to make yourself strong enough to know that you can help those around you. If you want that, I will help you with this endeavor.
I don't want to feel this ever again. I don't want to see anyone ever again.
I know.
Woohoo!
No. And Jubei kind of smiles and looks at him and goes, well then, the best way to at least make it less is to become strong enough to help it.
Nikki.
Woohoo! Oh!
Continue.
There's some weird creature just in the background making this noise as it just passes by.
Sorry, I forgot I set my mute to M.
You're good.
Yeah, I was wondering what was going on, but I thought it was part of the music track for a second. But in any case, Percy, the best way I find to help keep those around you safe is to become strong as well. And he kind of smiles and he looks at Percy. Would you like to see a bit of what it is possible to learn if you would like to teach for me to teach you?
Tommen, am I a joke to you, Jubei?
Yes, Tommen, you are.
Woo! Damn.
Ever in the distance, preparing to cast lightning bolt that he's about to try to show off to this boy.
That's not what he was going to do. He was going to show him a bit of how to use the sword, and he would eldritch slash a tree branch.
Yeah.
Well, Percy, it's so weird because it's just like I know that he's feeling a lot of emotion right now, but I also know that kids don't exactly have the perfect amount of like capacity for such a load, so he's just like so confusing to fucking think about right now. Nikki, you unmuted again.
I need to keep hearing that. Please keep
The
yourself
second
unmuted.
it played, I glanced up. I was like, "Oh no!"
Please keep yourself unmuted. I need to hear that more.
No. Continuing on, guys, please. Percy just kind of looks up over at Jubei. It seems like it's difficult for him to hold eye contact with him for whatever that reason may be, but he looks up at him and he just kind of says, "What?"
Here. And Jubei will smile at him. You may think that the best way to fight is with pure brute strength, Percy, but I can guarantee you, my order believed the best way to fight was with the mind as well as the body, to enhance one and the other. And Jubei will do a couple neat things for him. For example, did you know that mind can make the body twice as strong? Well, let me show you a little trick I learned. Do you see that log over there? And he's gonna look through like a fallen tree log. Probably weighs a few 100 pounds.
Yeah. Wait. Oh. Wait, they're inside, so.
Oh, no, yeah, we're out inside. Okay, he'll point at... What room were you in again? I forgot.
Oh, I mean, even then, you could have just pointed at a window.
No, out the window, yeah.
Like, lead him out. Yeah.
Good. Let me show you. It looks like that has been here for a few days. No one has moved it to the side, probably for it was too heavy, and unfortunately me and my friends took the horses away from the town. But Jubei will walk over to the log. How heavy would you think that? How difficult would you say that is to move?
I don't think... Huh. I don't think any of my big brothers could lift this one.
Jubei looks at him. Well, my body alone could not lift it. Jubei goes to do a lift and shows that he can kind of just inch the thing. But, with the power of the mind, and because I can finally do it, Jubei will cast Enlarge on himself, making himself now 13 feet tall and pick the tree up over one shoulder. The mind can increase the strength when trained proper.
He just... For a moment, any former trace of sad had just kind of disappeared in sheer surprise. He just stares up at you. Just very much the kid on the tricycle at the end of Incredibles, just like, what?
And then he'll toss the, then he will toss the tree to the side, and then Eldritch slash it in midair just for a cool move and cut it down.
His mouth is still agape.
After about a minute passes, Jubei shrinks back to his normal size. You see what I mean? Mind and body together make much, much more strength.
That's awesome!
Well, if you would like to learn these, Percy, I would be more than happy to teach you.
I can do that?
I am certain, given the training, you could. He kind of looks you up and down. You remind me a bit of myself at your age. You seem very capable.
He gets rather excited for a bit before, for whatever reason, his excited smile and light in his eyes very quickly dims back into something of a bit of a far-off frown.
Jubei kind of looks at him and kind of sighs. I am sorry, I said something to upset you.
It's just my brothers always said that same thing.
I see. Jubei will kind of get down on a knee and look him in the eye.
Still gigantic?
No, it only lasts a minute.
Yeah.
Right. Jubei looks at him and goes, I'm sure they were right to be about it though, Percy. As I said, I am certain they would be proud of you. Remember them fondly, and be the best person you can be for them.
He looks a bit down, but kind of at that. He'll nod.
Well, in any case, I suppose there are other things we must take care of, Percy, but I am glad to have met you. And as I said, if you ever feel like training, look me up and I will give you all the lessons I can.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mitsu.
Please, just call me Jubei.
It's really hard to say Mitsubishi.
Thank you. Jubei, I've been trying to avoid saying it, but Nano, I wish you would have turned this fucking theme to something else during this entire conversation. Just hearing this deep tribal fucking drums and singing in the distance. I'm just like, what the fuck is happening?
Just to remind you of the orcs.
Understood. Now I hate it even more. Kind of nodding at that, he seems to take a moment to himself. Before eventually he kind of looks back over towards Jubei and just, It's weird because, like, yeah, while there definitely seems to be a bit of a change in his overall mood, he still very much has an air of sadness. Something's still sort of bothering him, but...
No, but that Jubei would look at him, realizing still something's still bothering, but not wanting to pry too much too fast for the poor kid.
Me in the distance. Please! Insight, motherfucker!
Well, Jubei would probably insight, yeah. He's insightful. Let's see what we got. Gotta be better than a nat 1. Yes,
oh,
Jesus. Definitely be much better than a nat 1. Oh, Jubei got insight, boy. He's proficient.
So... Goddamn. So... I forget that it's charisma that he's ass at. But, I very much... The only way I can really describe it so much so is that, this kid has seen a lot and has lost a great deal of comfort in his life. Very clearly, it seems that while the mentions and thoughts and whatnot of having a mentor is something that intrigues him, this boy who you've only known to be Percy, one could assume he doesn't have a last name for good orphan reasons. Me wondering if 19 is either tell you the answer or give hints towards the answer, but long story short, he's lost just about every significant figure inside of his life, and while he's super keen about having a mentor, something's probably telling you that he needs something a little bit more than a mentor.
Yeah, I was figuring that too, but Jubei's like, how far do I push this? Jubei will look down at Percy and goes, Percy, do you have a last name?
Wait, quick question, Judah, out of character. Do you want Kyra to come in at all during this or no?
I wouldn't particularly mind. But Percy would look up over at Jubei and just shake his head. I don't know if I did, I don't remember it.
He kind of looks at Percy with a smile. Jesus. Well, we find his parents somewhere else. Thank you, Nicky. Oh, I'm not quite going that far, Nicky. Don't worry. Jubei looks at him with a smile and goes, well, in my order, our names are given to us when we joined. Sometimes, for those of us who are from lessers, if you would like, you can take a name with us as well. He says with a smile.
Take a name with you? Oh,
Yes, if there is a name you particularly would like to be said, you may take one as part of our group.
he nods to himself.
Jubei looks at us.
Don't I have to earn it first?
He smiles. He goes, indeed. Think of it as a down payment on it. You will pick a name for yourself, and then it'll give you something to strive for to earn. To pay at the same time.
He
Goodness.
kind of looks down and just doesn't seem to know exactly what to say, and it's just, do I have to choose one now?
Of course not. Take your time. And he smiles
Okay.
and he kind of leans down and goes, Percy, this may be presumptuous of me to say, but if you wish to stay with the castle and with all of us, this group is more than just a group. It is a bit of a... And he looks at him like, bit of a family. If you wish to remain here, then you can be part of it with us.
Oh, I guess that means that Jade was right. I wasn't sure if you and everyone else were going to kick Kyra and I out. I know that we just kind of dropped here, so.
Jubei gives him an odd, quizzical look. He goes, kick you out? No, of course not. Apparently, a big stretch.
At the end of that, you see a red-haired teenage girl just start wandering over, seeing you two in the distance.
Oh, is that your other friend?
Yes, hi. What are you doing with Percy?
Oh, well, nothing. I was inviting him to stay with us, and obviously this invitation would extend to you and your others as well. Looks at you, sort of, Kira, I believe I was told your name.
She would cross her arms and just look at him quizzically. Yes.
Very rude of that. Very nice to meet you. I am Jubei Mitsumusa, the Lord of the Castle.
Percy will look around from Jubei and look at Kyra and just kind of says, "Don't worry. He's a fighter, like and he kind of goes silent and kind of waggles his wooden sword.
Yes, I think I can tell from the sword, shield, armor.
He smiles at you, a bit of a sadness in a smile, and it's just, yeah, you're really perceptive. That's the word.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of steps back a little bit. I would say for Kyra specifically, it's a little weird to see Percy so submissive. He's usually pretty gung-ho about things, but definitely the things that have occurred lately have made him rather apprehensive.
Seeing that reaction, her gaze shifts to Jubei, and she gives like a disapproving look, but like a I'm not sure to think about you yet, but I don't like you already.
With that look, Jubei would kind of shrug with the, yeah, I'm kind of used to that look.
Fair.
I
Well-
do have a question for you, though.
Oh, of course. Well, what is it?
Do you know anything about the Feywilds?
Would Jubei know any? I mean, I suppose like stuff from his own country, but
Probably not a ton.
yeah, only legends and tales here and there. There was a legend I knew from my home country about a nymph from the Feywilds.
She kind of just sighs and runs like a hand through her hair that kind of like lights up a little bit with fire. Great, more people don't know about it. This is perfect. How am I going to find my way back home? Whatever.
Victor kind of. Did you ask Victor? He tends to be very knowledgeable about things.
It's whatever. It's fine.
Well, if you're trying to get back to your Feywilds, I'm sure we can
Wait,
assist you with
Cameron.
that as. Nope.
You can't be trying to leave now.
No, I don't want to leave. I just want to get word to my family.
Oh, okay. He kind of steps back a bit. Definitely that sadness that was in his eyes was momentarily replaced by fear, but at the reassurance, he steps back.
Victor will give, or Jubei will give a slight head tilt to that. It goes, oh, well, if that is the case, I am almost certain Victor could help you there.
Mm-hmm.
He has the magic to send messages to people. It is possible he could get one to your family.
Oh, we Eladrins are difficult bunch to get a hold of.
I suppose so, but it could not hurt to try, I suppose.
Do you even know what an Eladrin is at this point? Because we have never met one before.
No, he probably doesn't, but for Jubei's sake, it's just, people are people.
Yes, but it's fine. It's whatever. I just be nice to Percy, okay? Don't do anything wrong. Don't get him hurt, okay?
I never plan to hurt Percy or do anything wrong.
I will kill you if you do that, okay?
Jubei looks down at Percy, looks over at Kira, looks back at Percy, looks at himself. Boy, this kid has a lot more in common than I thought.
Percy just tilts his head.
So, moving on from that, because we got to wrap up here soon.
I was planning on it.
Yeah.
What's Halani doing?
Well, when they got back, she probably would have wanted to go to her room, but then I'm not sure about, because she does have high passive perception. She would definitely notice the new person, probably. And I don't know if that changes what she does, because I don't know.
She would have noticed a lot of new people.
Yeah, but I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, as you head into the castle, you do notice the large, red-haired, burly man. He seems to still be just kind of examining the architecture a bit. He doesn't really take too much note of you, though. But instead, eventually, Ragnar makes his way into the castle. And Ragnar kind of stops and looks over at Bjorn a moment. Bjorn turns around and looks at Ragnar, and the two, they have like a stare down for a moment. Bjorn's arms are crossed, and there's kind of a tense energy between the two of them. There's a history there. You're not entirely sure what. But Ragnar looks over. So you found where I'm at, Bjorn. Took you long enough. Bjorn looks over. You leave messy tracks, pup. Your mother is asking for you. Ragnar just kind of looks over towards him a moment. Is that so? Well, fortunately I'm a little busy, but I'll send her a letter. And Bjorn unfolds his arms and looks around. He doesn't see Jubei at the moment. You should know. There's been strange sightings around your mother's village. I think it might be in danger. Perhaps you should head home and assist if needed. Ragnar quirks a brow. What do you mean, strange sightings? He asks. Bjorn kind of looks up a moment and towards Halani for the first time, and then back to Ragnar. Seems the venerable dead have come back to life. Ragnar looks over. Really? And Bjorn nods. Yes. There's a man leading them. We're not sure who or why. But you know what the village hides. Ragnar nods. He looks over to Halani. Well, Halani, it's been fun, but it seems I'm needed home now. Give the others my regards. He begins to walk out.
I'm sure if you needed their assistance, they'd be more than willing to help.
Perhaps so, but I know you guys have plenty other going on. I don't know, where's Quentin?
To be honest, he's kind of gotten in the habit of going about inside of the manor, and after seeing Jubei taking care of the kid, he would have just kind of been walking about and whatnot,
Oh wait,
striking
no.
up with the person he can.
Everyone wanted to take Quentin and Jubei with her to go speak to her father after Jubei was done talking to him and stuff like that. So she'd just be waiting with Quentin.
That doesn't, yeah. So in other words, I guess they'd be just kind of walking together.
Mm-hmm.
Outside or inside?
Inside, probably.
Okay.
It's up to you though, Crystal. I don't want to be stepping in on no RP.
Agreed.
You're welcome to do the things.
We also have a half hour till my game, so.
Kalani is awkward, so
Yeah, I kinda wanna-
it's fine.
I want to get to Everett's father stuff because that might take a little bit.
We can do Everett's father next time, because that's going to take a long time. Sorry, we got the other game.
I know. I've been waiting so long, but it's okay. It's fine.
Bad Aries noises.
We'll start off with yours next week, I guess.
Precisely. But continue.
Ragnar just kind of nods at the offer. Yes, so you have plenty else to worry about. This, I think I can handle.
What is there to worry about?
Yellow?
What was that?
What is there to worry about?
Seems there's undead threatening my mother's village.
Well, my, that's...
You caught the right person. Wow. Clinton just kind of looks and tilts his head for a moment. And it's just...
How bad is the incident?
Bjorn looks over. Bad enough for me to make the journey all the way down here.
Right, and you are...
I think that Ragnar should ask for Jube's help, but he's being stubborn.
Well, I second that notion. Why have you not decided to ask for help?
To be quite honest, he has his own things to worry about that I'm sure he wishes to see resolved.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, are you not a part of this group?
Yes.
Then, like yourself, like Everin, like the lot of us all, you have endeavors and things that will matter to the lot of us all.
Well, we'll see what he has to say when he gets here, but I will not tarry long.
How long do you have?
The journey will take quite some time. Bjorn, how long did it take you to get here? Bjorn thinks a moment. About a month's travel on foot. Ragnar just nods at that. Case in point. Who knows how bad it'll be if we wait too long.
About how long's journey?
A month.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I would say that Quentin would kind of nod at that. What is that? How much is that on a horse?
It's gonna be quite some time regardless, because you guys are several hundred miles away from the Fiorian border. And then there's the mountain peaks to worry about there too. The Olympiad peaks. But there are some mountain passes, so. Halani would know the journey is pretty difficult at points.
Smiles.
Unless you guys took a boat, then that would change things.
Ooh, sea travel!
Yes, everybody's favorite. But regardless, we're gonna end it there.
Right. I will be right back then.
Break starts now. You guys got 30 minutes.